Boom! Hello, everybody. Welcome. Muhammad from God. I believe his channel is streaming this as well. Muhammad, I see you in the back chat. I just want to drop and give me 25 push-ups before we start today. Let's go! We got a good day ahead of us planned, baby. Let's go! Don't be fat. Shaitan! All right, guys. Welcome in, everybody. Today, me and Muhammad from God. That's his YouTube channel. His name is Muhammad. We are going to be streaming today discussing Quran only versus Hadith. I've been on a journey to research Islam, to figure out the truth, research all religions. It's essentially a journey I went on. We're going to hear more about, I'm out of breath, Muhammad's story, why he believes what he believes, and what things we agree on, what questions I want to ask him. We're just going to go. We're just going to have a good conversation. Welcome, everybody. All right, let's bring on Muhammad. Here we go. Muhammad.
Peace and blessing. What's up, brother?
Peace and blessings. How are we doing?
Good. How you doing?
I am, so for anyone who didn't see like the last stream that we basically had together, we talked for, I don't know if it was like 30 minutes at the end of my previous stream. You came on and I was shocked to hear your perspective, a perspective that I haven't heard, but a perspective that has been inside my own head. And finally, I feels like I can relate to someone.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm to say the least, I'm super excited to speak with you today. I've got the chance to speak with a lot of people online, but this might be the most excited I've been.
Nice, man. I'm excited too. Honestly,
I mean that. Not just saying words. I mean it.
Bro, honestly, much of what you said, even I was watching your studying when you were studying earlier, like the things that you're picking up from the Quran, like it's so natural to you, and you truly see the truth. So I'm excited a lot because I think we're gonna vibe a lot on a lot of points.
Yeah. Well, so you're streaming this on your channel as well. I just want to say hi to all the viewers over there.
Oh yeah, so I chose to stream it is just because maybe we'll see how some of your people on your chat's going to react, and it's just so my people can have a place to talk without having to be called losers and all the other names that we usually get.
Yeah, it's always, people love to fight, especially in the chat.
I think it's their pastime job, dude. I don't know how they spend all day on the internet. Some people.
Yeah, I wondered the same thing, but it is what it is.
But the religion is truly an offline religion, as I said last time. Like, you have to be working in the world. That's what serving your God is. You want to be part of God's collective. Like, how are you going to make this world a better place just sitting online arguing with people you're never going to meet?
Yeah, that's facts. Actions speak louder than words. Like what you just said. Religion, we can talk all day. Right. It's like even from the Bible, like the biggest summary, one of the biggest points that like one can take from the New Testament, like regarding Jesus's life, is he basically makes fun of the Pharisees, who are they're always like praying.
What did you say? The Pharisees or Salafis? I got it confused.
Pharisees. They're like they were just the hypocrites of the time. He was saying, like, they were always like praying. They made sure they prayed really loud in front of everybody so everybody could hear them, and they wanted to look good. And he's like, bro, y'all aren't even. So it's like a reminder for us all to, when we turn off the camera or when we turn off if you're viewers, like, we have to actually go do it.
Right.
To actually do something.
But the thing is, it's like, you think you're anonymous on the internet. You can say whatever you want, but the day of judgment is going to be like exactly the same. How you were treating the people online is going to be right there in front of you. You're going to wish there's a lot of things you didn't say. So why are you saying them? It's the religion.
That's true.
Right.
That is true. If you believe in the day of judgment, then we're here right now.
Exactly.
Well,
we're being judged right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how long do you have? I got it. I don't know if you want to talk for 3 hours, but I got 3 hours to stream.
I got all day, bro.
Okay, let's go. Okay. I mean,
You just ask away. So
we can. I don't even know where to start. I mean, basically, should I just introduce myself to your viewers?
yeah, please go
Okay,
ahead, and
okay.
so people would know the backstory. And just so you know, I did try to reach out to you like a few times before, but I think there's like there's a certain wall that stops us from reaching to you. So I'm going to introduce you to some people today. I'll tell you their names and what they're about, and maybe if they reach out to you, it's just because you could a bigger perspective on who we are in the community.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You say who we are. Like, what do you mean?
The believers, the people who believe in the Quran.
Okay.
So it's
okay.
like we're very the way they deal with us is they try to not platform us because they have no problem debating atheists, they have no problem debating Shias, they have no problem debating each other, debating anybody in the world. But don't let the Quran alone people on your platform, because then people get to hear what they're saying. So don't debate them, because A, we lose, and B, don't let the people know what's being said. So it was very difficult to get in touch with you at certain times.
Well, that's
So this is exciting, brother. I'm telling you.
yeah. No, that's kind of scary to hear because I have to trust people to help me get in contact with other people. So if there is like a wall, then that's concerning.
Right.
Well, okay. Well, yeah.
I think-
Well, we're here right now. So
So you go first, bro. You introduce yourself, and then I'll tell you
yes,
my
and then you
story.
introduce yourself to anyone who doesn't
Right.
know who we are. But my name is Grayson Brock. I'm from Texas, aka the best country in the USA, Texas.
Yeah.
Got my cowboy hat right over there. And as we all are, as every man is, we're on the journey to become the best version of ourselves, become the strongest we can be, become aware of what God is. And God has always, the concept of heaven and hell, like first infatuated me when I was like 15, 16. I'm 22 now. So I went on that journey to growing up as a Christian. I dove all the way into the Bible, reading the Bible every day. And I was like, I knew I had found something in Christianity that brought me a peace that surpassed all understanding. However, there was some confusions I had. So it led me down to not really believing in God for 3 years, throughout college. And now I picked up the Quran one day, read it. I read the Book of Mormon, I read the Bhagavad Gita, and I made YouTube videos about it. I read like all these religious books in like one sitting for a YouTube video, but also because I wanted to read it, and I make YouTube videos. It's like, oh, bang, bang. I'll do both. Turns out the Quran video that I made got like the comments were just so much more like fat. It was just popping. Like everybody was like, this is so interesting. And I was like, okay, let me make some more videos. I'm summarizing like the past year into like 2 minutes, but like I was like, let me make some more videos comparing the Quran to the Bible. I know a lot about the Bible. I studied the Bible for 4 years, like specifically the New Testament. So let me make some videos comparing the Quran because I have a lot of knowledge on the Bible. So I started doing that, and like essentially over the past 6 months, the more I read about the Quran and learned about Islam, I was like, hold up, this makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. Wait, that makes sense. I was like, this is Christianity without the little bit of confusing part at the top. So here I am today, realizing that there's only one God worthy of worship, and all the religions that I seemed to look into fall into this trap of
Idolatry.
yes, it's like Buddhism. Like I stayed at a Buddhist temple in Thailand for 1 week, and I followed their rituals, and they would bow at the Buddha statue, and then they would like meditate. But they said that they weren't worshiping the Buddha, but I was like, you're bowing at the Buddha. Anyway, I learned later that the Buddha said whoever worships the Buddha, like, if you end up worshiping me, you're stupid. And I was like, wait, what? And then like when I learned about Christianity and how Jesus is praying to God, like he's pointing to God, like guys, look, it's like every prophet does this, and then slowly after so like much time, I guess we want to humanize God, so then we start pointing at the prophet. And Islam, the Quran is the only book that I like saw that like got rid of all of that. It just said there is no God. Even in the book itself, it's like I am only a messenger. The person who supposedly received the Quran, Prophet Muhammad, he's saying I'm nothing but a messenger, just like the ones before me. And I was like, okay. So then I went to a masjid for the first time. I went to a mosque for the first time, and I saw on the bookshelf in the corner that there was other books, and I was like, hold up. What are these other books? To my friend who brought me for the first time. He's like, oh, these are Hadiths. These are sayings of the Prophet. And I was kind of like, hold up. Wait, what? I thought it was just this book. So, but I was open, I opened up the Hadiths and I started reading and I was like, oh, well, these are like, this is sick. It was like real, like whatever I was going through at the, whatever, I don't know if it was Bukhari, but it was interesting. Whatever I was reading, I was like, oh, this is like fascinating. It was like how to clean yourself. It's like really specific. I was like, I had never been taught such specific things in religion. So I thought it was fascinating, but that was the moment where I was like convinced that Islam is the truth, meaning for anyone who doesn't know what that means, if they're Christians or any other religions, like here, it just means you submit to God alone. Like you're a Muslim. I was like, I believe that. Like, oh, then I'm a Muslim. That's what I've always wanting to do. But when I went to the Quran, when I went to the mosque and I saw all the Hadiths, and then I saw like people only talking about Muhammad so much, I was kind of like, wait, okay, they're not praying to Muhammad, so it still is worshiping one God, but I'm confused. I'm confused why he's always talked about, like, repeatedly, if he's just like the other messengers and everyone's trying to figure out exactly what he did. And I just see a lot of, like, similarities with, like, trying to essentially, like, copy Jesus and idolize. Minus praying. You don't pray to Muhammad. Everyone would agree that's...
Some of them do.
Well, I haven't seen that with my eyes yet or seen anyone do that, but I don't know how you would follow the Quran and pray to Muhammad if it says only God. But that's where I am on my journey. Like, does that make sense? Like, so I'm like convinced Islam is the truth, but I'm just like a little bit confused. I don't know. What of that can you relate to, and what of that are you like, I don't know, want to know more about that would help before we like really dig into our conversation, and then you introduce yourself to the people who don't know. But
right. Well, actually, it seems like the people who read the Quran and got infatuated by the Quran, like the Quran is something amazing, like it's opening doors for me. As soon as they pick up the Hadith, it's like there's two things. If they pick up a Hadith where it's aligning with what they're reading in the Quran, they're saying, hey, there's a little bit more from the truth that I already read, so it's kind of aligning. But then sometimes they start reading this other stuff where it's very different than what the Quran is saying, and it's a very different mentality. Yeah, it's in the same book where it's contradicting itself earlier. And all you have to do at that point, as they tell you, is just you have to accept it, and you can't understand it. So at that point, you just have to kind of start submitting to what they're saying to you instead of what your brain is literally showing to you. So you got into the point where it's like when you, as you said, you open the Hadith, there's some stuff that's aligning with the Quran. I'm like, yeah, you can get the truth from everywhere. Like Chinese proverbs, when they say cleanliness is godliness, that can be found in the Quran. So the truth is the truth, and people recognize the truth. So for me, I don't need religious guidance from Hadith, but if there's anything from that aligns with what the Quran is saying, the Quran is going to say it better. But technically, God said that already to somebody, and they transmitted it. But does that mean that the Prophet said it? I can't prove that. I can't witness that. How are you telling me? Oh, because we have a chain of people. That's not science. That's just against science. It's just not what it is. So if you want, like my backstory very quickly, I grew up in a Sunni household. My mom did the 5 prayers. She never missed it.
Okay, so Sunni, I still don't even really know what Sunni is. Sunni or
Sunni.
Shia?
So
There's definitely a lot of people in here who don't know either. What is that?
So there's
in simple terms?
So very simple terms. There was a split after the death of the Prophet. So some people said that they are following the tradition of the Prophet, and the Prophet wanted a certain person to be the community leader after him, which they claim is Abu Bakr. And then his best friend. So they said that Muhammad's best friend is fit to be our leader. And then there's another group that they're saying, no, Ali, the cousin of the Prophet, he's fit to be our leader. And then they started getting at each other. So one of them is called Shi'at Ali, which means the sect of Ali, or the group of Ali, right? So they're from the side of Ali. And then the other one is the Sunnah, which is the people of tradition. But the term Sunnah did not come a little later, because at the beginning of the Islamic empire, you had the 4 big caliphs that were the best friends of the Prophet. They really expanded the empire in a way that was fitting to the Quran. They are responsible for propagating the Quran, for standardizing it and making it into a proper system where people can pick up and go. But nobody put any emphasis on any Hadith books or anything. So one of your viewers were saying yesterday, well, hey, yeah, the Hadith book was compiled 200 years after the Prophet, but because people were using the Hadith when after the Prophet died. Yeah, but they were using the Quran too. And his best friends put all this effort in preserving this amazing book, but they put no effort in preserving this other literature, right? And then there's few groups that came out of the Islamic age because you had the freedom to interpret. right? So people were able to do something called ijtihad. So which is, it's from the word jihad or jahd, struggle or effort, where they would take the book and they would really start to scrutinize it and put their full attention into it to try to see what they could deduce from the book and try to take as the biggest picture that they can from the book. And from that, you got people who they call the people of reason. So they used their reason in regards to how to make judgments from the Quran. You had the people who had they call them the people of like dialective talk or theological talk, which is almost philosophy. So they philosophized a lot. And then you had the people of tradition. Oh, well, because some guy before me did it, I'm going to have to do it. So they just started to copy. At the beginning, there was a lot of people from philosophy and reason. There's a group called the Mu'tazilite that came up. That was a big sect at one point where they used reason and philosophy a lot. But then that started to get forbidden by the Sunnis, which were claiming themselves as the people of tradition and the majority. So the consensus.
So Sunni people of tradition.
Tradition and consensus. That's what Sunni means. Tradition and consensus. Sunnah wal jama'ah.
Okay.
Right? But you yourself earlier quoted a verse. And if you follow the majority who's on earth, they will delude you from the path of God. So it's not like
in the Quran.
But that's what they've done. So it's like when they're presented with information, we have 10 scholars that said that this is the case, so your opinion doesn't matter. But they could be wrong. It doesn't matter. 10 of them said so. You're going to know more? Well, I'm not going to worship your Lord's scholars that you guys do. So that's in chapter 9 when God says that the Jews, they took their rabbis as lords. So these people are taking their scholars as lords. So
but
that's exactly
not, like as lords. What does that mean, Lord? Like
you can't refute them. So the word Lord in the Quran, Rabb, is an entity that dictates the truth to you, the reality, and you cannot refute them. And you have to do what they told you. So if a scholar gives you his opinion, not what the Quran is saying, is what the people were saying, then you can't sit there and say, no, dude, you're wrong. Because you get now attacked that you're putting yourself on a level that's equal to the scholar or above. Like, who are you to refute the scholar? I can't sit here and say, like, no, one of the hadiths in Bukhari is not authentic. That's what the Sahih means. It's authentic. One of them is clearly blasphemous. Oh, who are you to sit there and refute Bukhari? Oh, yeah, 1,000 years after Bukhari, some loser is going to come by and say that this book is not right. It isn't right, and he's not my Lord. I can say that. But to them, that's blasphemy. That's like complete blasphemy. That's what the people of tradition and the consensus is. So now there's many verses that God says that we brought down the book to you, O prophet, for you to judge between the people. So this book, as God says multiple times, every time God sent a prophet and he brought down the book to them, it is for God to judge between the people what they used to differ in. So you said what I said to Smiler, but work then was extremely effective because God gave me the way to handle with Christians. Dude, you can't say Jesus and God is equal. Okay, he wants to argue some more. Okay, but God cannot be three parts because it's not logical. Okay, he wants to argue some more, but Jesus ate, God is self-sufficient. He wants to argue more. Look, dude, you have your way of viewing God and I have mine, but it's the exact same entity. So can we now put that to the side? Because God says, we believe what you believe in. Your Lord is our Lord, and God's going to see how you're going to work, and God's going to see how we work. So let's work. Because the thing is,
this is the first time I've ever heard that. Like, okay, no, okay, all right, let's move on.
Brother, this is what's so amazing about the book. The Sunnis and Shia, it's very simple. Abraham was not a Sunni and Shia. The Christians say that the Jews are on nothing. The Jews say that the Christians are not on nothing. You Sunnis are saying that the Shias are on nothing. The Shia are saying that the Sunnis are nothing. So no, you guys are making a critical error because God said that the people that don't know will say similar things. So you guys have to think about Abraham. Abraham was about the collective. And that's how you solve their problem. Now, when it comes down to the Palestine and the Zionist issue, it's very easy to solve with the Quran. God talked about the children of Israel. Children of Israel are not Jews. They're the seed of Jacob, prophet Israel. So that's Muslims, Jews, Christians, atheists, Hindus. There's a bunch of people that came from Israel. That's what it means. Bani Adam, the seed of Adam. Bani Israel, the seed of Israel. But they just anonymously or like unanimously give that to the Jews. But then there's verses where God's saying, oh, children of Israel, didn't I take a covenant from you? Do not kick each other from your homes. Do not kill each other. So the Palestinian children of Israel are being inflicted by the Zionist children of Israel. They both have a right to the land, but God clearly is telling you in the book, you guys are cousins. You guys are brothers. You came from the same prophet, Israel. What are you doing? What are you killing? And then now you look at the world, bro. The atheists are not killing nobody. It's the Christians, the Jews, and the Muslims, and all these people that say they believe in God. They're the ones dropping the bombs. Look at Ukraine. Ukraine is a Christian country. Russia is a Christian country. The Russian attacked the Russian technically. But what God is telling you to solve that problem, one, Russia is the one who threw the first stone. So they casted the first stone, they transgressed. Okay, but you guys are supposed to be one nation anyways. Europe is supposed to be one nation anyways. The Middle East should be one nation anyways. That's what we're supposed to do as humanity. But yet you all say you believe in God. And it's so crazy to me. How is the people believing in God dropping bombs on kids? Or the people in Sudan are getting inflicted by other people that say we believe in God. And then you guys are wrong and you guys don't know how to believe in God. Well, God never said that till you go kill anybody. No, nowhere does it say you go cast the first stone, go kill him. It never said that. It said protect yourself. Yeah. Well, how am I going to protect myself from my brother? Literally, like exactly. It's crazy.
So
there's no reason.
So you're saying that everybody needs to unite under
God says, like, let's come to the common ground for us and you to believe in one God, right? And do not associate anything with him. I don't need to idolize what you're idolizing. And if you're going to idolize, just admit that we've submitted to God. And if you turn away, then God is going to punish you, not me. God is going to punish you. How's your punishment in the world? You're going to have a stressful life. Your door is going to get closed down to you. You're going to be blind. You're going to be deaf. You're going to be unempathetic. You're going to be a loser. You're going to start going into a hedonistic lifestyle thinking that you're guided. There's no alcoholic that thinks that they're an alcoholic. They all think they're functional drunks. But some of them recognize they're an alcoholic. They fix themselves. And some of them recognize they're an alcoholic and they don't care. That's exactly the same thing with the deluded people. You don't know that you're deluded. Some people realize that they're deluded and they go, yeah, you know what? I don't care. That's my path. And some people think about it, be like, hey man, am I a hypocrite in action? Am I doing something wrong? Like the book is telling me I can't act like this. Why am I acting like this? Those people get saved. And then the rest of the people, no, I'm a goat. I don't know. I just follow the sheep. Here's the shepherd. God's telling us not to call the prophets shepherds. No, Prophet Muhammad, he's my shepherd. I'm going to follow the shepherd. Oh, well, what's Prophet Muhammad saying? I don't know. Bukhari, what did Prophet Muhammad say? Oh, he told you to kill all black dogs. Oh, okay, I'll go kill black dogs. Like, bro, what are you talking about?
So what do you do besides sharing your message that we are one? Yeah, like what is there to do? Like that's what I was kind of at the end of the last call. Remember when I asked like you and Hafsa, like, okay, let's like fast forward this, right? You got people over here, you got people over here. People are going to disagree.
Bro, we won. Us believers, the Quran alone, we've already won. There's nothing for us to sit and debate or fight anybody. One, the Sunnis and the Shias, they're 600 years lagging after the Christians. 600 years ago, the Christians went through the division from state and church because the church became completely corrupted. Now, 600 years later, the Muslim communities are going from separation from mosque and state because the mosque is completely corrupted. And so now a lot of people that come to me, they're like, bro, I was very conflicted. Like these mosques are just lying to us. It's obvious. They're saying things that are not scientific. They're saying things that are not religious. They're being like losers. Our countries are in shambles. But I don't want to apostate. What do I do? Bro, because if you read the Quran, none of the stuff we're telling you is permissible. Most of what they're telling you is not permissible. They go, you know what? Yeah, it makes total sense. And that's why you have like the individuals in your chat group. You have Abu Sulaiman. He's a person that listened to a scholar in the Middle East and a few other scholars. His name is Hassan Farhan al-Maliki. This man, he wanted to unite Sunnis and Shias. He was on airwaves. He debated many people. He got a huge following. Now he's sitting in jail. He was showing the differences between the Sunnis and Shias, how it's all political, but theological. You guys are not doing anything right. And he's going out. He's saying the people in the West are upholding Islamic standards better than both of you. And so they put him in jail on terrorist charges because Sunnism Saudi is a sectarian system where they want to promote Saudi Salafism. Iran is the Shia, and it's a proxy war with subversion and all this nonsense that has nothing to do with religion. So they put him in jail. He's on death row. They want to kill him. And a lot of people are trying to tell the government, which is having a change of heart. Hopefully they open the door and let this man preach again because he was all about peace and unity, and he's willing to work with everybody. Abu Sulaiman learned from him. Right there. Not Sulaiman. Sorry, is it?
Yeah, no, he learned from him in person.
No, he learned from him
His
in like
videos?
videos. I don't know. You can
What was,
ask him,
wait,
but
could
then
I?
you
What was his name? The guy? Not.
Hassan
Yeah.
Farhan al-Maliki. I'm gonna also give you a channel
If you could send it in the. Could you send in the private
of a
chat?
person. Yeah, sure. Give me 1 second.
It's so funny. Like when I hear Arabic
All right,
names, I don't know how to spell
sure.
it.
I'll write his name here. Hassan Farhan al-Maliki. That's the first person. And I want to also tell you about a channel. His name is Quranic Islam. He has a different, more moderate way of approaching the Quran alone. Because he's saying that, look, whatever hadith is matching with the Quran, I will take from it. These are called the Quranic centric people. For me, those people still have to sit there and play a lot of the games that the other people play, and they might be relying more on things that they don't need to be relying on. But that's that middle ground that some individual was telling you, the something philosopher, I can't remember what his name is. He sent you a chat message. So the Quranic Islam channel, my brother Khalid there, he promotes an ideology where he's still taking from the tradition. So if someone says to him, "How do you pray?" Well, you didn't know how to pray from the Hadith, anyways. Somebody showed you how to pray. So all these people are saying, "Oh, how do you pray? How do you pray? You need the Hadith to pray because the Hadith tells you how to pray. How are you going to pray, bro? Tell me how you're going to pray." Well, show me the Hadith where it tells you how to pray. There isn't. Actually, the Hadith has many ways of how you should pray. But how did you pray? Oh, well, my daddy showed me. The guy in the mosque showed me. My
So
mama showed
is
me.
that inherently wrong though to pray that way?
Nope. Nope. There's certain things that they do just like the Christians do, which is completely wrong. You can't sit there in your prayer right before you're going to end and be like, "Oh, peace and blessings to you, God, and please, peace on you, oh prophet." Prophet can't hear you. "Oh no, well, there's a hadith that every time you send your salutation to a prophet directly, an angel will tell him." And this man now, he's 2 billion people in the world, right? An angel will tell him that you sent his salutation, and he will reply to you. So now there's 2 billion Muslims in the world saying, "Sallallahu alaihi wasallam," or "Salamu alayka ayyuhan nabi," peace upon you, O prophet, or "God, please send blessings on the prophet." He hears everybody in his mind, in his grave right now. He's hearing everybody, 2 billion people, and he's replying to every single person. Because now he's omniscient. You know, he knows exactly who's the one sending him. "Oh no, no, well, you don't know the unseen God can do that." No, that's you putting him as a Lord. So that's why you can't call upon him in your prayer. And God clearly says in chapter of Jinn, the demons, or there's like the Jinn, one of the chapters in the Quran, that the mosques are only for God. You should be only calling towards your Lord. But
Doesn't
now
the
some
Quran
mosques,
say somewhere like send blessings upon the prophet?
no, Quran says in chapter 33, it goes, God and the angels, they pray on the prophet, right? They send salah on the prophet. All you have believed, pray on him and submit submissively. وَسَلِّمُوا تَسْلِيمًا. Okay, but a few verses before that, you know what it said? God and his angels pray on the believers to take them from the lightness, from the darknesses into the light. So God's also sending us, him and his angels are praying on us to take us into the light. So now it's giving you a clue what that word means. But there's a directive in the second verse where God's saying that you also should pray on him. So that means it's for me, the way I understand it. And remember, I'm telling you my interpretation and how I view it, and I find it extremely concise. And there's other people in the world that reach the exact same conclusions by our God's mercy, and we instantly click because it made sense to us independently, right? But for me, that verse is literally, what would Muhammad do? And I'm in a situation, people are yelling, what would Muhammad do here? Okay, you know what? Muhammad would want to have peace in this matter. So I would submit submissively to that prayer that I just connected to. What would Jesus do in this area? What would David do? Because they're all prophets. There's no change in the way of God. So God talked about Moses many, many, many times in the Quran. Me and my friends, my brother Musa and my sister Yatima, we went out in the world and we did our explorations. And stuff. There's many times when we're confronted or we're having to deal with something like Moses did this, this, and that. So this is what we should be doing in this moment. Like, okay, these Sunnis hate me, fine, but Moses was told to go to Pharaoh and talk to him nicely. Bro, if you put me in front of, I don't care who it is, Biden, Trump, Netanyahu, all these criminals, I'm going to do what Moses did and talk to him in a kind manner. Not, well, you war criminal. Yeah, he's a war criminal, but you got to talk to him nicely lest he comes back. Because obviously the Quran is telling you if Pharaoh listened to Moses, Pharaoh, who is more abusive than all of these people right now, he would have got the repentance from God and he would have found the peace. God was willing.
But you are
forgive.
mocking them when you speak.
Who? No. Yeah, because those people that I'm mocking, if someone is getting mad in the chat, then he made it about themselves. You see what I'm saying? But for me, it's Sunni and Shia. So the Sunnis and the Shia, the curriculum itself is idolatry. There's much shirk in what they do, but I don't put it individually. So I deal with each person individually. Some people, they don't know all of this stuff that they do with the shirk and all this nonsense. So they're good human beings. I treat them with good human beings and they're righteous people. But the one that's showing that hate and animosity, then yeah, I'm going to make fun of them as they make fun of me. Because there's the verse about Noah. We're going to make fun of you as you guys make fun of us. So you should see all the hate, and you're going to see all these refutation videos that are going to come out, and all these people like, hey, beware, bro. These guys are kafir. Why? Because our scholars said so unanimously. Like,
I mean, at this point, I came from a Christian background, so, I've gone through everyone being like, what are you, everyone is saying everything about everything. So at this point, I'm like, well, I'm only here to figure out what I believe in. If, I'm not even here to, maybe that changes in the future, but I'm not here to change anyone's perspective on anything. I'm literally here to figure out what I believe. Maybe when I'm older, like you, I'll want to go on a mission to actually convince people of what I believe, but I'm really just sharing my perspective right now. So I really don't care what anyone says in the chat. I mean, it is a chat. So,
brother, you also said what the prophet technically was told to say in the Quran. I'm just going to tell you my perspective, and I don't have control over you, nor can I cheat, nor am I here to fight you. I'm just going to tell you what I think. Whoever gets guided, God guided him, and whoever gets deluded, you chose delusion, and God deluded you.
Just say the message, and okay.
Yeah, I don't have control over, and that's exactly what I keep doing. And the funny thing is, every time they try to do anything bad to me, God gave me an exit. It's in the end of chapter 29. And whoever strives with us, we will give it. We are with those that strive, the muhsinin. And there's other verses, those who strive with us, we will give them an exit where they didn't even know it. So there is something like the verse that woke me up 13 years ago when I was 22, when I was your age. It was the verse that you said earlier. By God's grace, okay, by my God's blessing and grace, of course, God has a plan. I was a trouble kid. Like I was a rebel. I didn't care about society. I was out for the world, but I had a special ability that other people didn't have. I was able of hacking computers at 8 years old. I was a person who's very tech savvy. I love the computer a lot. Like for me, the computer made a lot of sense to me, Boolean logics and how it works. And I gave my dad a very hard time, but my dad was a very supportive father in a sense where he gave me everything that I needed in terms of support and care and make sure that I stick to my education, even though I just wanted to sit on my computer all day. So me and my dad didn't really see eye to eye, but he was a very good father in providing and supporting for us. And he taught me something that no one else was capable of teaching me in the world. But of course, by my God's blessing, because that's what he taught him. My father was a negotiator for certain companies, and he had to be extremely professional. So negotiating and body language and how to deal with people and who's manipulating and how get manipulated. I could read mostly everybody in the world around me except my father. So as soon as I started learning how to read my father, the world kind of opened up to me differently because I got introduced to the professionals and the elites and that kind of stuff. So I had my computer understanding, which was Boolean logic, which is a very important logic, because the Boolean logic, it dominated all forms of other logics. Give me your accounting program, I'll fix it. I'll make it into a computer program. Whatever you throw at me, I can make it into a computer program because it's Boolean logic. I was able to make money easy. I didn't really need to go to university. I was able to go do whatever I want in the West. I was in Canada at the time, doing whatever I want, right? But I always felt empty. I felt like I didn't fit in. I felt like I had to show off extra. I didn't have really much good friends. And I of course, we heard the stories of the Sunnism and the stuff that you grow up with as a child. But then one day, sitting outside after a nice night out, I look up in the sky and I was like, God, I always know you're there. Like I never doubted your existence. But just tell me the truth. I want to know the truth. I'll never forget that prayer. This was like in November 2010, maybe a little earlier. And then in December 2010, it just occurred to me, it's just something clicked in my mind. You know what? I'm just going to read the Quran. I never sat and read the Quran. I always believed in it. So I opened the Quran and I read the first few pages.
How old are you?
Bro, this is at 22.
My age, okay. Wow.
Yeah, I read the first few pages and I'm like, bro, this book is amazing. I'm reading it and I'm crying. Like, man, like, why didn't I know that? Like, I see this.
Why didn't
But
I
then I
know
get
this?
exactly, and I get really mad because my people technically hid it from me without them realizing it. Because this book could have saved me from a lot of emotional pain and stressful pain and me being an idiot when I shouldn't have been. If I knew this book at a younger age, I wouldn't have I would have stayed a pure self. But I get to a point where it says we believe in God. Oh, we believe in God and what came down to us, and what came down to Abraham and Isaac and Ishmael and Isaac and Jacob, and what came down to Moses and Jesus, and what came down to the prophets, and we do not distinguish between them. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. It hit me like I was like, bro, my people are worshiping the prophet. The children of Jesus are killing the children of Moses. The children of Moses are killing the children of Muhammad. I mean, the followers, but that's how it, like I was saying, they were all killing each other. And my people just love Prophet Muhammad. They don't love God. And bro, I broke down. I cried like a little girl for like hours, bro. That whole night I spent crying because I just realized I'm getting emotional. I apologize. But that verse opened my eyes. And all I see now is literally they distinguish between the prophets. Oh, no, we don't. We believe in them. No, bro,
This is exactly what I went through with Jesus.
Right. But this is what they do. You go into the mosque, bro. Oh, the prophet said this. The prophet's best friend said this. The scholar said this on the prophet. They'll say one verse of the Quran and then like 10 hadith. Bro, I have, if I go to their Friday sermon, I have a game in my head. How many times is he going to say a hadith and how many times is he going to say the Quran? There's mosques where I go in, he will tell you 12 hadith and maybe one Quran verse. And the whole thing is about the friend of the companion of, like, bro, what are you doing, dude?
I've
This is
been to
not
Juma.
Islam.
I mean, I've been to Juma. The first Juma I ever went to, I've only been to like 3. The first Juma I ever went to, it was, I think maybe they said a verse, and then it was a story about a hadith about when Prophet Muhammad came, like the speech he gave. And
But they told me to follow the prophet. So if the prophet didn't do that, did the prophet go up on that thing and start talking about his friends? No, he talked about God. You walk into some mosques in Turkey, in Syria, in Lebanon, Jordan, you see the name of God and then the name of Muhammad right next to each other, like they're best friends. Bro, what are you doing? You can't do that. Oh, no, well, just decoration. Well, did the prophet do that? No, well, then I guess that's an innovation in hell. Who are you to tell us what to do and what not to do? Who the hell are you to tell me what to do and what not to do? And then you have the example of Abraham, which you were talking about. Abraham freed himself from his own people because he said, my people, you guys fell into idolatry. Oh, who the hell are you? We're going to burn you. You can't test us. You can't do it. And God saved them. God has saved me from every single one that did not understand the message, that did not understand the peace, did not understand how to get to it. So I have, from all the people that I talk to, there's one Sunni from the online world that I have respect for in the way that he talked to me. And you could ask many of them, like EF Dawa and Dawa Wise. They'll tell you, like, when I came to their platform, they said I was respectful. I didn't insult them. But there's only one individual. Well, I have no problem talking to him all day, despite him being on his methodology, which is Farid Respond. Farid Respond is from the person where I was
respond?
Like, responds. Yeah,
Farid
I'll put
responds. Okay.
Yeah, Farid
get some good context today.
Responds. Yeah, respond, I think. You know what? I don't want to give you the wrong one. Let me just responds. Yeah, Farid responds. He's a person who's very polite, despite me and him not seeing eye to eye. He's very polite and respectful. You could see, like, that's okay, that whatever. That's like a good, like, as God says, from the Christians, the Jews, and the Sabians who get to heaven, that's one of them. And then you have Muslim Lantern, but it's because I met him face to face, his way with me changed. Online, he was a little arrogant, but then God is amazing. I'll tell you his story a little later. But yeah, Farid Responds is definitely a person I would encourage you to talk to. He's respectful, but he's on the Sunni methodology, and I just don't accept most of what he tells me, but his way is nice. But if we're talking about, okay, so these people that I'm telling you, I'm not endorsing them. I don't endorse anybody. I'm just giving you names for you to go check out and see, right? Yeah. But the only person I will endorse, no problem, any day of the week, is the correctional officer. The correctional officer is a person where he translated the Quran. He spent 6 years.
Yeah, wait, I saw your email and you said that was his translation.
His translation. And his translation.
Own translation.
Right. He was the youngest person in a crowd where all these translators came for this conference of the he was there and he's giving speeches and people were like, bro, this guy he's got a spark that is unbelievable. Like he's very wise in the things that he says, and he says something very short, but it makes you sit there and think for minutes. And the person who's shallow, he can't get what he's saying. The greatquran.com. Yeah, this man is
I can't.
like
He has his own. How long
Trans-
does that take?
it took him 6 years. It took him 6 years, and he's not an Arabic speaker. So he grew up learning MSA. His main language is not Arabic. He didn't grow up learning Arabic. He took like a modern standard Arabic as a child, and then he grew up and then he really invested himself into the. And this, I saw his videos, bro. I swear to God, as God is my witness, this is the amazing power of my God. I watched a video while I was a little like low in Canada because of how people treated me. So I said, I want to meet this man. And I travel the world a lot. I ended up one time in Albania, right? Like Albania in a hostel in a basement, randomly. Like not randomly, but my God chose for me to be in that basement. I'm having a conversation with some guy that was from Britain at that point, and some other guy walks and sits on a table. He's Albanian himself. His name was Chris. And then I always mention things about God to the person when the person feels motivated. And then the guy starts saying things that I know. Like he was like, yeah, I follow the creed of Abraham. I'm like, bro, wait, what? Like you're saying cool things. And he starts talking about religion. I'm letting him go. And I'm like, bro, you really know your stuff. Like exalted is the Lord. He taught you well. Because yeah, I have this friend. I met him when I was in Finland, and we were talking. Excuse me. And he goes, I was like, bro, by any chance is your friend like Bush 2G9? Because he looks at me and I look at him and he's like, yeah. I'm like, I want to meet him. So eventually I get the contact lines, but it was so surreal that like I asked God, I wanted to meet this man. God put me in a place where I could have an amazing story with my brother here, Shuaiba, right? Now we can go back to Muslim Lantern. Me and Muslim Lantern, I wanted to have a discussion, not a debate. He treated me in a very bad way, right? Very bad way on his platform. I was trying to keep the peace. I was talking nicely. His own people were saying like, bro, I've watched you many times. If you never lost your cool, but with me specifically, he was talking to me in such a dirty manner. Even the video that he made was edited in a way to make me look stupid. And it was really wrong. And he actually removed the video because he was being honest. But he made fun of my prayer. He was making fun of my prayer because he really grilled me on the concept of prayer. Anyways, I had this conversation with him. I was in Canada at the time. And then I went to Mecca. Brother, sunset prayer. I prayed with them. I finished my sunset prayer. I went to the most like remote area I could find to finish my prayer, which is almost another hour of prayer. It was 45 minutes because I had 36 and 37 I wanted to pray. I'm praying chapter 36. I'm listening to 36. I'm reciting it. Some man and his father sits next to me in this remote area in the house of God, in Mecca, in the house of God, in one of the most crowded areas in the world. This man sits next to me with his father. I've prayed 36. This man starts reciting 37, the one that I wanted. So I stopped and I listened to him a bit. I'm like, wow, the guy's reciting prayer. He just did the first page. And then he finished his prayer and I started thinking, should I do all of 37 or should I carry on? No, I want to be loyal to my Lord. I'll read all of 37. I finished my prayer. I look to my left. It's him. He's looking at me and I'm looking at him. He goes, what are you doing here? I'm like, what are you doing here? Right? So, but yeah, I swear, I finished my prayer. I look to my left and this man is looking at me. I'm looking at him. And he goes, Muhammad, you're the Hadith rejecter? I'm like, yeah, that's me, dude. What are you doing here next to me? And he goes, and he goes to me, I think God really wants to guide you. I was like, nah, bro, I think God wants to guide you. Like he brought you to me because like I was sitting here and you came to me. I didn't come to you. And me and you had a fallout, but I really actually respected that man. I was like, that man worked hard. He works hard. He's trying really hard to get people into the religion. And usually a lot of people I deal with Sunnis, I'll like, as I leave the conversation, I curse them in my head. Like these guys are so disgusting. These guys are losers. They don't know what like proper way of talking to a human being. And they say they're believers. Like I really like show some animosity in myself towards them. But this man, I couldn't. I was like, man, no, I don't want to curse. Like, I don't want to think bad of him. Whatever. He had a bad interaction with me. I'll let it be. I'll let it be. I'll let it be. As much as I wanted to, I did it. But then God puts me next to him at God's house, at God's house, where we made like somewhat of a small piece. Like, yeah, we don't agree, but you know what? Like, all right, cool. I walk with him. I get introduced to one of his family members. I don't want to get into certain details. And then I walk with him for quite some time. We talk about a few hadith, but he was very respectful to me, and I was very respectful to him. And it was the end of the story. I go back later to his stream and I say, hey, peace, bro. And he's, oh, salam, nice to meet you. And the video that he did completely is not on his channel anymore. God literally made all of that happen.
Wow. How shocked were you when you were like, what the?
Brother, these are not, yeah, oh yeah. Like my sister Musa, my sister Yatima will tell you, we went to a pilgrimage, okay? We went to a pilgrimage. Bro, I have a certain set of skills. You don't want to be on my bad side. But we went to a pilgrimage where there's millions of people, right? There's a few times we got like they had to go in a group, them two, and I was by myself with no cellular phones, without nothing. I would follow the inspiration from my Lord, and I would go exactly stand next to them. I will go stand behind them. I would find them in the middle of a crowd in Mecca, just because I'm going by what I believe my God is inspiring me to, because of how loyal I am to God's verses. This is what you were talking about earlier in regards, and I'm not telling this to anybody to do. There is a topic you touched upon. I would love for me to tell you, where you talked about psychedelics and it opened your eyes. But this is not the way you achieve that, because that's drug induced, and then you become at a higher state of consciousness. And that higher states of consciousness lets you become aware of certain things. But if you're a terrible human being, when you do use drugs to get to that level, the devil's there with you. So the devil's going to put his thoughts, but if you're internally a good person, you're capable of fending that off and you go on your good trip. But most people, they bring the devil with them, and the devil's a terrible loser. So he brings them into a bad trip, and they go into psychoses, and they go into things where they cannot escape, because God says, do not pray to God while you're intoxicated. This is a verse in the Quran. So this, if when people choose that, they try to connect to God, but they're saying things that they don't know. But they're seeing this higher state of consciousness. Now, the Quran itself, when you make God your Lord, you get to a higher state of consciousness without the without hallucinating, without hearing things, but you're on a different level than everybody else because you're so aware of the world around you. So when God is saying, do not accept any religion except submission, or submission is the only religion that's accepted, or the law, you could take communism. Communism is a collective. Within it is singulars. Those are the people. These singularities are making a collective, but that collective itself is also a singular. So your body has cells. Those are all singular. Those cells come together and they make an organism. That's a collective, but that's also a singular part of a bigger collective. Just like the American democracy, all of these are collectives. But when you go into God's collective, so now God is going to work through your hands, you're in the most dominant, most biggest, best religion, best thing ever. Because those collectives, communism and American democracy or Western democracy and Sunnism and Christianity, there's a head honcho. There has to be, right? But it's just demons and humans. With God, or as in God's collective, it's you with other humans, with demons, with the angels, with the animals, with the wind, with everything that can help you see the signs for you to know what to do. Apologize, I might have overtalked, bro.
No, I'm a sponge. I'm
Yeah.
soaking up a perspective that I haven't heard. There's so many things to talk about. Like, what do we want to? I mean, there's definitely things I want to ask you. What we got? Like, I got 2 hours. I have till the top of the hour, 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Right. And one thing, sorry, you did touch upon. I did want to say one more person. There's my brother Charlie from Islamic Channel USA. I'll put it. He sees a lot of what you are going through, but he wants to kind of free Islam from like the Arabic. Like, why is it when people become reverts or find the truth, now they want to have an Arabic name and have to start saying Arabic words in their sentences? Why do they want to wear the white dress? Why do they want to start becoming Arab? It's an Arabic book, but it's not an Arabic religion. And he does very great content to show you where it's like, no, it's a universal religion. He's a brother from the States as well. So
Islamic Channel USA.
Yeah.
Is he an Arab guy?
No, he's from the States.
Oh, wow.
Charlie.
Charlie. Oh, Charlie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound too
Yeah.
Arabic.
Right.
So you became, when you were 22, you read the Quran for the first time?
Yeah. So I
Okay,
submitted.
so exactly
My world changed.
me, too.
Right. And then I went into a
Funny how that works.
journey. You become quite arrogant at the beginning, and then God humbles you. As soon as you get humbled, you start to really practice the Quran. So for me, I read the Qurans. Like I can spend 6 hours, 5 hours certain days just sitting reading the Quran and practicing it and going over and over and over again. Because it's
Yeah.
like, for me, there's so much truth, bro. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
no. I mean, you said you were on my stream earlier today. I just did I was just reading it for like an hour and a half, and I'm just like, it's so powerful. It's so simple.
Right. And the message is
It's
clear.
so clear.
God is
It's
telling
so
you.
clear.
God is telling you. He's like, look, here's a group of people. They became hustlers. They became abusive to each other. They were a superpower. I had to remove them because they were losers. But somebody came and warned them. Be conscious of God. Be nice to each other. Don't hustle each other. Be about honesty. Be about truth. Because if you think you're that powerful, God's going to remove you. Like this is called the tradition of God, the sunnatullah, the way of God. We're seeing it happen to your superpower, the country that you love. You have such a good opportunity for you to really remind people, now with all this other nonsense that they want to tell you, but the message that's literally written in the Quran about what the messenger said to their people. You are from that people. Like, guys, come on, like, it's about love. This whole like red versus blue, wherever it is, in the music, in the politics, it's not worth it. We're losing our kids, we're losing our people, we're losing our society. Stop listening to those elites of yours that government doesn't love you. Like, go back to God. It's not about how you view God. It's about being peaceful. Like, there's so many man-made religions, but there's one real religion. What's that? Submit to God. What's God? God is peace. Submit to the peace. Like, submit to the love. Submit to the mercy. Like,
But meanwhile, you're trying to change Shias. Like, it seems like from my very short judgment, it's only the second time we've talked, that it's like, okay, you believe Jesus is 3, talking to a Christian. Okay, but we discuss. We can't agree. Okay, one more thing. Oh, we can't agree? One more thing. We can't agree? Okay, all right, let's move past that. You believe in God, I believe in God. But do you have that same perspective when it comes to like a Shia or Sunni?
Yeah. I have a speech for every single like group that I meet. With the Jews, I have a certain speech. With the Christians, I have a certain speech, and the Sunnis and the Shias have a speech based upon what the Quran told me. The Quran is telling you verses that you have to contextualize. So for me, I say the verses of the Quran without saying verbatim, especially to Sunnis and Shias, because when they hear the verses of God, they're parrots. They don't get it. They don't think about it. So I'll say what God said in a very layman way, and they'll be like, "Yeah, bro, that's very deep." Yeah, I know it's deep because I got it from the Quran. It's just saying it to you in a different way.
But why do you do this? Like, where you kind of mimic them, if you want?
Because they hate me. They hate
But
me,
they all
bro.
they don't all. Are you like just judging off the like? Are you talking about in real life? You get like attacked.
In real life, bro, we get attacked. Like my brother, we have an uncle in Bangladesh. This man, he embraced the Quran in 2004. He was a Muslim. He said Quran alone in 2004, and his community knew he was a Quran alone person. But there was the Bangladesh riots. Then the Sunnis, they take hold of Bangladesh, and then the MP of his city and the local mosque leader, they go bring a gang, beat him up, tried to kill him, beat his sons up, burnt his house, and burnt his school, just because this man said, I believe in God and his book, and I don't need anything. I'm free of what you associated to God. They almost tried to kill him. So our community, may God bless.
You?
Oh yeah, bro. But God saved me, bro. I got kidnapped in Egypt. I got arrested all over the world, bro. I'm not allowed in Egypt. I got banned from Jerusalem for 10 years. I got investigated in Jordan a few times. Saudi Arabia, the cops stopped me a few times. But God saved me. Yep. That's why I love God.
But I guess it feels like the more that you say that they hate me, like look at him, like they hate me, that it's just gonna keep going, like because it's almost manifesting itself.
Because the people who are saying like, you know what, it's sad what he's going through. I want to stick to my hadith, but what he's saying is right. Or you know what, I see his point of view, and he's right about those. Those people I love, because those people it's not about the hadith or not, it's about God to them. And God says that there's people that take dads. They take people or other things like allies, and they love them how they're supposed to love God, but yet they might even love God more. So when Prophet Muhammad gets drone in France, they want to go burn the whole Paris. They want to burn the whole Paris down because they made fun of Muhammad. And then when Jesus is drawn and made fun of, and he's made fun of in Paris, they go make fun of the Christians. Hey, look, you're not defending your prophet. No, you idiot. He's your prophet. You go defend him. If you're going to burn the whole city for Muhammad, why aren't you burning it for Jesus? Why aren't you burning it for Moses? Why aren't you burning it for Noah? Why is Muhammad the King Kong and no one else? Nothing matters to you. That's idol worship.
Yeah. Okay. So what? Like, I'm with you. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm still at the beginning stage.
Right.
I mean, I guess it's all relative. Relative to someone who's been reading the Quran for 15 years. I'm at the beginning, but I get it. Like, I agree, pretty much. Like, this is what I was already thinking. Like, when I went into a masjid and talked to Muslims, like, he's nothing but a messenger, and there's all the other messengers before him. Okay, but nobody talks really about the other messengers. So it is about Muhammad. It is about essentially definitely idolizing. And okay, so it's pretty. I mean, we'll see what, you know. God has the future written already. But what to do now with? They don't agree.
What's at hand? Yeah.
What'd you say?
You wake them up. You keep working. Life's about work. You work.
So what if they, you know, like you said, you talked to the Muslim lantern in person and you basically agreed to disagree. Then what? You just.
Right. I will keep the peace. So I will still treat him as my brother. When Daniel Hakikachu got attacked by the ADL, I will make a stream saying like, yo, Daniel Hakikachu needs our help because despite our differences, he believes in the Quran and the other side is obviously transgressing. And then weeks later, he can call me a garbage human being. I'm fine. Because to me, God tells us to forgive. God tells us to be merciful. But we make fun of them as they make fun of us. But my goal, my personal goal, right, is to hopefully, and this is going to be political, is for people to wake up to a sense, and this is the Arabic side of things, is to realize that they were supposed to be one community, and all these 30 Islamic nations and this whole thing about nationality and patriotism.
Yeah, it says that in the Quran. Don't split.
Yes, exactly.
Wait, so why even call them Sunni or Shia? Why don't?
Because they call themselves that. I don't call myself a Quranist. I'm a believer. I follow Abraham.
Yeah, but
so what does it mean?
We should just start calling, I mean, I'm not telling you.
We do call them mushriks.
Muslim.
But
they're Muslim.
No, okay. The word Muslim is very general, but they're not believers. They're idolaters. They're mushriks, as God calls them in the book. They're mushriks. They're like the Sunnis, the Christians, and the Jews.
Who are we talking about? You're talking about everyone that doesn't.
The ideology. The ideology. If they're gonna say that they need a book other than the Quran, that's called association. Okay, so what's association? Is attaching something to God, right? So they say we have the Quran that is from God. We're allowed to say that this is from God. There's proof. But then they have this other book that they say it's inspiration that came from God, and we wrote it down, and therefore it's from God. So this book is attached to God. That's literally what association is. And so now when God's saying use this book to judge, we have this book to judge and we have this other book to judge. Okay, that makes no sense. Well, no. You have to judge with this book. No, I just want to judge with this book. Kafir, kill him.
Yeah, this is, you said kafir. And
kafir, which means
kafir means like you hide the truth.
Grateful. You hide the truth in gratitude. So the word kafir in the Quran is usually used and juxtaposed with grateful.
I did not hear you. My phone.
So the word kafir is usually juxtaposed with the word grateful. Shukr. So it's
Juxtaposed. Okay.
So the opposite. Yeah. So you usually see kafir becoming its opposite with shakur, which is like grateful. Right? So some people sit on the table and they're really excited inside, like, bro, this food's amazing. Thank you, God. The gratefulness, like the sun is shining and people are nice. I have all these people. That's fine that they hate me. They're hearing the message. I have my other side on my other chat there. They're all like they're sending hearts and stuff. May God bless them all. May God bless anybody.
Pull that up. I mean, I already don't give too much weight to the chat because
I don't. Okay.
I mean, people criticize me for I don't know. I've already gone from this. Whatever. I'm not even gonna get into it. W.
But yeah, so it's like God tells me that we're gonna get a lot of like adha. So they can't stop you. They're just gonna hurt you with adha. So there's dar and there's adha. So adha is like, imagine you're a car, right? You as a human being, you're driving a car, and this car, because you believe in God, is gonna get to the like it's going to get cross the line, right? So you drive your car and you assume that as a believer, you're going to get the car there and there's no harm. But what adha is like you drive in the car and people are throwing rocks at you. They're breaking your tire. They're destroying your car, but your car never gets destroyed and you get to the finish mark. That's what adha is. Dar is like you not being able to finish. So God's going to tell you that they're not going to stop you, but they're going to hurt you with words, hurt you with things. But you're going to succeed and you're going to win this flourish. Look at you, Mr. Brock. Within a few months, you have a channel that's much bigger than most of them. Why? Because that's a blessing of God on you. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
What you going to do with it?
Continue, at least, no matter what, I promise to every word that comes out of my mouth is something I truly believe, and I'm just going to continue to share my perspective, my research, my life.
Start traveling, bro.
Yeah.
You start traveling.
Yeah, for
You'll
real.
see the whole world, bro. I swear. You as long as you're looking for God's signs in front of you, like, hey, like, bro, it's looking for being aware of God. God is in control of all of it. So you look for the signs. I'm going to a place where I'm supposed to rent a hotel. I don't have a phone. I don't know anything. So I'm sitting at the side of the street. Is it this building or that building? Because he showed me a marker on the map. I don't know. How am I going to know? A wind will come and you see like a little, like a bottle, like a plastic bottle roll and then point to a building. You could say this is just coincidence, or you could say this is God helping me. So you go in that building. I go in that building. I knock on the door. He goes, oh, yeah, I was expecting you. Why? Because I listened that my God put that in there in front of me.
Yeah. Have you ever read The Alchemist?
No.
Okay. It's literally what you just said. It's like a book about following the omens. Like following, like God is always the universe, God is always showing you where to go.
Right.
It's like,
right.
Sense a hint and you're like, and then you either choose to be like, nah, that's just a coincidence. Or like,
then you lost. That's like, it truly is. You can't sit there and start being like, oh, that's a sign, that's superstition. But if you're just focusing on God, right? And you get into a situation, say somebody's doing something or you need to do something and you're walking and you get a bad feeling and you see something. And the first thought that comes to your mind, I should go right. I'm going to go right because God helped me in there. God guided me. God inspired me. That's truly what God is all about. God's always talking to you, but people are not looking at the signs. God says, I will show you the signs in front of you, in the book, everywhere. I'm here, everywhere. There is no coincidences.
Yeah.
But you really got to believe that.
Yeah. That was Hassa, the sister that we talked to at the end of the
live
stream.
God bless her.
No coincidences, ever.
There isn't. But
all
here's
right.
the thing. If you're impure, then the devil can play with your mind and he can build things in your mind. If you're impure, if you're a person who's impure, you would associate the thoughts of the devil to God, and then you get lost.
Hey, I'm gonna drop and give 25 push-ups, a little mental break.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. After this,
let's go. 25 push-ups. If you don't do it, you're in trouble.
Come on. Let's go.
I want to hear you. Drop down, soldier. Cut him out.
All right.
1, sir. 2, sir.
Hear me?
3, sir. 4, sir. 5, sir. 6, sir. 9, sir. 10, sir. 11, sir. 12, sir. 13, sir. 14, sir. 15, sir. 16, sir. 17, sir. 18, sir. 19, sir. 20, sir. 22, sir. 23, sir. 24, sir. 25, sir. Mission to get up. My brother Cheryl was sitting saying, I'm fit. I just did 25, bro.
I was laughing the entire time. Sir.
Yeah, that's how they do it in the military.
Yeah. Reminds me of American football. That's how we would have to train. Sir, yes, sir.
Sir, yes, sir. Attention.
Here, I'm actually going to run to the restroom real quick.
Right,
and feel free to...
I'll entertain you.
Yeah.
I'll go through the comments.
Okay.
All right. Okay, let's see. He isn't doing anything besides counting. You see, that's a very mean thing to say. That's a negative assumption. Are you calling me a liar? Well, God has my back. Is Muslims having long beards a customary? It's not customary, but part of the people who are sectarians, yeah, they have the tradition of putting a long beard. For me, I get it from a verse from the Quran. God God says to Moses, or God's telling us about Moses when he came back and he saw the children of Israel worshiping the calf, and that's when he came back from the mountain with the directives from God. He started to admonish his brother Aaron, and Aaron says in the Quran, "Brother, don't pull me by my head and don't pull me by my beard." So Aaron, who's a person who is obviously into, he's a prophet, he had a beard. So that's an example of someone who's religious who has a beard, and I follow that example. But for me, it just looks good on me as well. So any other weird questions? Grayson, please ask him how he prays. Actually, thank you for reminding me, because that's something I want to bring up. Don't trust this liar, Grayson. Oh, okay. He's going to trust you then. Appreciate it. All right, I can't say that. You changed my mind. Thanks, brother. Do Quranists have their own scholarships, or is it each to their own? No, so we have a lot of tools where we get to explore the book of God, and we do, as the word ijtihad. So we try to see truly what the word is being said, and we reach to the conclusions where we find other people reach that conclusion as well. There are people who have some certain skepticism in regards to that. They don't trust the Arabic, or they don't trust the Arabic grammar, but it's part of the, it's part of what is, it's part of us distinguishing what really has been said. So the Quran alone community, there's many interpretations that people have. Just like if you look at Tabari, for example, there's many interpretations that people had, and people can make their decisions. So there are people that consider that salat is not a physical thing, but rather it's a connection with God. I don't agree with that. I believe there is ritual prayers and there's times of prayers that you have to do. But there's a part of our community, which are brothers or sisters, they don't do it. But they get whatever you put in the pot, you're going to be eating. And there's people that think that the Quran is talking about a flat world. There's people that think that the Quran is not talking about a flat world, nor is it talking about a globe world. It's a phenomenological. And we have a nice collective of people with different interpretations. But the secret is, aside from working out, is to know how to keep the peace. How do you pray? How do you pray? Did he mention any verses from the Quran? I mentioned plenty, actually. But you guys don't know the Quran, so you don't know when I say the verses of the Quran. Let me go to the newest comments. You could, man, they go so fast. How you do this, bro? Stop yapping and discuss criticism. Yes, sir. Don't obey the hypocrites. How's that one? That's a verse from the Quran. I don't have to listen to you. Do you recognize Sufi as a sect? Yes. Oh, you guys that say some very nice stuff, man. Bro, teach me how you keep up with your chat.
You don't.
It just goes.
I mean, the only way is to be reading it the whole time. Yeah.
Right. It's all right. So
Chad, do you guys prefer that I slow down mine? I already slowed it down a bit. But
no, it's my fault. But brother, there is something that I did want to bring up. My good friend, he's called the Quranic Mu'min. He writes a lot of articles on Reddit. He's a very smart person. He actually took a few orphans under his belt. He did make a point, which I do have to correct myself. The way that I told you I pray, this is very subjective to me from what I understand. And if people are with me, we would pray as the imam is praying, or the leader of the prayer would pray. But the people in the Quran alone community have different styles of prayer. As you said, it's open, right?
Well, yeah, I said, like, that's how I was taught from my parents and from my traditions, like in Christianity, is there was never besides the Lord's Prayer, like if you follow the Bible, I think the only following like Jesus, like his new covenant in the New Testament, if you follow that, then the only time that he was asked by his disciples, according to the Bible, how do we pray? And then he recited the Lord's Prayer, which is like, it doesn't say what to do or what position or anything. It just says, just like a speech, like,
right.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Boom, boom, boom. Give us today, like, forgive us for our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Boom, boom. It's like a beautiful short. Besides that, you can pray. There's no direction. Just talk to God.
Quest, did you get to the story in the Quran where God told the children of Israel through Moses, go cut a cow?
Wait, one more time?
Where Moses was ordering his people. Yeah, in the Quran, in chapter 2, where Moses was telling his people, God is ordering you to sacrifice a cow.
I don't recall that.
So in chapter 2, Moses was told to tell his people that it's time for you to cut a cow, to sacrifice a cow. So his
Okay.
people go, "Oh, which cow?" And then Moses goes, "Well, it's not an old cow or a young cow. So go do what you're told." And he go, "Oh, well, what color is the cow?" And he goes, "It's a yellow color that it's pleasing to the eyes." And they go, "Oh, well, all the cows look kind of the same to us. So tell us more, like on which cow." He goes, "It's a cow that doesn't like tilth the land, nor does it like pour water over the plants. It's just a cow that's not doing much." And then go, "Oh, now you came to the truth," and then they did it. So the moral of the story here is when Moses said to them, "Go sacrifice a cow," they could have went and grabbed any cow and sacrificed it. But the more they started to question, the more specific and the harder it got. So when God is telling you, "Go pray," you go pray. But, "Oh God, how do I pray? Should I do this or should I do that? Or should I stand up here or should I move my hands like that?" Well, then now at that point, you're asking for problems, because if you keep asking and you get answers and you forget, you can get in trouble. So when he's telling you, "Go pray," go pray. There's directions and ways in the Quran where you just have to trust your Lord. Why can't they trust God?
Okay, so it's more open ended.
Yeah.
What
Like, brother, for them, God tells us for the night prayer, the middle prayer, to pray anywhere between a third, a half, or 3/3 or 2/3 of the night, right? That's a very long prayer if someone who's dedicated to it. But to them, it's abrogated. You don't do that.
Wait, it says that that's required or obligatory?
No, it's a way for you to get close to God. Nafila. So the more that you do at night, it's better for you, because the night is a very good time for you to be able to concentrate. But God is telling us that the prophet used to stand a third, a half, or 2/3 of the night. Me, sometimes I will stand, I'll try for a half, but there's nights where I'll just stand for a half an hour because I've got things that I needed to accomplish or I was tired. The prayer is amazing, bro. The prayer is what keeps you connected.
Like if I how many verses in the Quran like say talk about specific like how to pray? Is there like a lot?
There's
it's a big book. So.
There's a few. So with that question, I'll actually, because you said that you were going to meet with Baba Shuaib, right?
Yes.
He will show you every verse in regards to the prayers, but I'll show you like kind of the general. Okay.
Okay.
So if you go to the end of, so I just get you the number of the verses. Actually, you know what? It's easier just to pull up my sheet here. The first verse that I would like you to pull up is here. Bro, give me 1 second, please.
No, you're good.
Right. So the verse is in chapter 11, I believe, that I want. One moment.
Oh, it does say. I didn't know it has wudu in the Quran.
Yes, that's chapter 5, verse 6. It gives you every detail that you need for the washing, but they added some stuff and said that's also from God, and if you don't do it, you're in trouble.
Wash your faces and your forearms to the elbows, and wipe over your hands and wash your feet to the ankles.
Right. So if you look at verse 11, 114 as well, that's giving you some times of the prayers.
114?
11, 114. 11, 114.
Why didn't it? ChatGPT, bro. 11, 114.
Yes.
It's so sick that you speak Arabic. You get just to read it in the original.
My brother Musa, he's from Albania. He learned Arabic, Quranic Arabic, by reading a website, and I'll put it in the private. It's called corpus.quran.com. My brother, he will spend a lot of time in his prayer. He's very long in his prayer, and he would go from that website will show you like where the word is mentioned so many times in the Quran, so you're able to deduce what the meaning is better. And he was capable of reading the transliteration until he learned the Arabic. So this is telling you the 2 days of the day and the approachness of the night, right?
Yeah. Okay, so 3.
So that, but then you can also go to verse. Yeah, that's it. Verse 1778.
1778.
Right.
So that's pretty easy. So 2 ends of the day. So basically
78 and 79. Sorry. So 78 to 79.
1778 to 79. Okay.
Right.
Real quick before I go. So before I go on this, 2 ends of the day. So basically sunrise, sunset. Oh wait, two.
Boom.
Yeah,
Yep,
sunrise,
you're right.
sunset, no. Sunrise, sunset, approach of the night, and then night.
Okay, but the approach of the night, that's not the correct translation. Wazulufan would mean parts of the night.
Oh, whoa.
So you read it from right to left.
Oh yeah.
So it would be so it would be I think that's the first word. Go to the second word. Let's see if you can recognize at least the second word.
Oh no, I don't know any of the word.
All right. So the word zulufan, it will show you a little bit. It's a different meaning than approachness of the night. But then the next verse is the one that's waiting for you there.
Okay. Wait. So what does this say in Arabic? Because I would have interpreted this to mean sunrise, or 2 ends of the day, like at night, at night, I guess before sunrise, sunrise, after sunrise, and then sunrise. That's how I would have interpreted this in English. But you're saying the Arabic is...
Well, so obviously there's people that interpret these verses a little bit different. Here is saying وَأَقِمِ الصَّلَاةَ طَرَفَيِ النَّهَارِ. طَرَفَيِ النَّهَارِ is talking about 2 periods. So the period is before طَرَفَيِ النَّهَارِ. So you have the day. So one end of the day is dawn, and the other end of the day is the sunset. So those are the 2 most important prayers.
Yeah.
And then so God and God talks
the day.
Right, and God mentions 3 prayers by name. He goes Salatul Isha, which is the night or like the evening prayer, right? Isha. And then God talks about Salatul Fajr, which is the dawn prayer. And then God says Salatul Wusta, the middle prayer. So if you're starting with Isha, which is your evening prayer, and the other one is the Fajr, which is your dawn prayer, which one's the middle one? Your night prayer, which is supposed to be the long one. It's very clear.
So in the middle of the night.
Right. That's the most, like, that one is very important to get close to God. That's when you get to cry to God. Approach the parts of the night. They're using approach, but it's part of the night.
That's a poor translation. I would have never thought it was.
Right. Open thegreatquran.com for Baba Shuaiba, the correctional officer.
Well, I guess, how do I know I can trust that? I guess I don't know how I can trust ChatGPT either, but...
I can show you a website where they have like 18 translations right there in front of you.
What was the website?
We'll go with Shuaiba's, which is the Great Quran with a K.com. So I'll put it in the private chat.
All right.
Boom. There it is.
No, can I just search verses here?
Where? In that website?
Oh, you can't see it.
Yes. Yeah, so at the top where it says search, you could just put like what was it? 11.114.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might seem like I'm taking it slow, but I really want to see like what this says.
Right. You could zoom in as well. And you see at the top where you so there you go.
And what establish.
So that's the transliteration.
Oh, okay. Oh. Wait.
Yeah, you're right. So the red is the transliteration, and the white is the actual word.
And establish the litany. Is that prayer?
Yeah, litany is a ritual prayer. If you Google that.
At the 2 sides of the day, okay,
Right.
in the advancement of the night.
Right.
I still think that would mean like night is coming. Oh, advancement, like as night goes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have got that. I wouldn't have thought that if you hadn't said anything. That's so fascinating. So you're saying it's saying to pray in the middle of every night.
Yeah, it's because wazulufan here, it's actually a plural word. It's not a singular. So this is why it's plural. Wazulufan is a plural, indefinite noun. So that's why it's like multiple parts of the night.
So like set an alarm in the middle, or just if you wake up during the middle of the night, just get up and pray.
So
like
what
how would they have done it back then without an iPhone?
There was a system of sleeping in the Quran as well. So the Quran tells you Quran tells you a few things. Look, so I'm telling you about the times of prayer, but there's also times of exaltation where there is the noon, there's the afternoon, there's after sunrise. These are also things that are declared in the Quran. So I just wanted to pull your attention to a verse here. Sorry, it was 17, I believe 70, what was it? Let me just say 17. 78.
78 through 79.
Yeah, just go on this website if you want, 1778.
Let me write down this verse. 11:114.
Right.
One moment.
Oh, bro, I gotta check on.
The one in the middle of the night has me quite confused.
Well, that's where the 1778 will help.
It's through.
If you zoom in so we can read it. He established the litany at the setting of the sun until the twilight. That was the first end of the. See, God says in the Quran that he gives you the verses and then he details them. So you don't need anything else because God is telling you the instructions and then he gives you the detail for them. So the two ends of the day. Now let's talk about the detail. The first side is the setting of the sun until twilight, right?
Wait, what is
and then
twilight?
God's saying twilight of the night. So it's
Is that like midnight?
No. Twilight of the night is there's still a little bit of light still showing from the daylight, but it's so you could look up like the twilight of the night. It's not the middle of the night, but it's like right before the it's like almost dusk, not dusk, the twilight of the night. So that's not the saga.
Okay. So like,
right?
Okay, so the opposite of that is like this morning I was up. The sun hadn't risen, but it's starting to lighten up.
Right. So here's the opposite. And then if you go back to the verse, so that's one side of the prayers. And then the other side of the day, God says, and the reading of the dawn. Indeed, the reading of the dawn shall be observed. So this is the second side of the day where you also have to recite the Quran in a litany, as God says in the other verse, that you have to do the prayer on the two sides of the day. So the first side is the sunset. The other side is right before the sunrise. And God is saying that the reciting of the dawn is going to be witnessed. So if you're missing, it's going to be written upon you. If you're going to recite at noon, if you make a rule in your head that I want to recite every noon, right? And you start reciting the Quran at noon. But if you're not there, it's not counted against you. But if you do it, it's counted for you. But for the dawn, if you don't do it, it's counted against you.
Okay.
Right? And now go to the verse below it.
Wait, you're saying the middle of the day would be like extra. Is that what this is?
Yeah, it's not there. No, the middle of the day is not there. I was just giving you an example.
Indeed,
Here it's giving you the two ends of the day. Sunrise. Okay. Oh, I mean dawn and then dawn and then sunset. But then go to the next verse. That's where you're gonna get.
Wait, let me write this down. What chapter? 1778.
Right. There you go.
And of the night. Wait, let me just read these two together real quick. Establish the litany at the setting of the sun until the twilight of the night, and the reading of dawn. Indeed, the reading of dawn shall be observed. And of the night, thus stay awake with it. As superfluous for you. Perhaps your Lord will raise you to a commendable position, and of the night, thus stay awake with it. Delicious for you. Perhaps your Lord will raise you. Okay, so the middle of the night.
Right, but look, Baba Shriva did us a favor, and he gave you a verse that's connected to here where you see it in the blue. So at the night, stay awake with it. You see how it's 73, 1 to 6? So go to the verse 70. You can't search it that way on the website, but just go to 73, 1.
Okay.
Yeah, just go up 73, 1 in the search. Yeah, that's it. Zoom in. Yeah. Oh, you covered fellow, get up at night for a while, right? Half of it, or decrease a little from it, or exceed over it, and annotate the Quran by chanting. So that's the prayer right there.
In the middle of the night.
Right.
So
No,
what?
God is saying half of the night. Go up and read it again. Get up at night for a while.
Half of it.
So, right.
Like halfway through the night? It's
No,
not saying pray
half-
for half of the night.
Half of the night.
Every night.
As much as you can, when you can. Yeah, because look at the end. Look at the last verse on the last verse there.
Right. Half
All the way down. All the way down.
The
The last verse of the whole. So the last
of the surah?
scroll, yeah, of the surah.
Oh, okay.
All the way down.
Well, I don't know any of the context now. Is there any important context before it?
Well, this is when it's talking back again about the prayer. The other context is a warning for the people.
Okay. Indeed, your
Right.
Lord knows that you get up less than 2/3 of the night, half of it, and 1/3 of it, and so do a faction of those with you. God has estimated the night and the day. He knows that you may never calculate it, so he has forgiven you, the believers. Therefore, read what is easy of the Quran. He knows that some of you will be sick and others will be traveling in the land seeking for the favor of God, while others will be fighting in the way of God. So read what is easy from it and establish the litany and give the charity and lend God a good loan, and whatever you send forth for your souls of good, you will find it with God, which is better and greater in reward, and seek the forgiveness of God indeed. God is forgiving and merciful.
So this prayer here, the more that you do, it's going to be very beneficial for you. But you have to stand something. If you can't stand a third, half, or 2/3, then it's just like you're training back there. You know how people train really hard, right? So God is showing you a system that if you're capable of achieving, God told you in the other verse, He will send you a very good position, right? Lest your Lord send you to a commendable position, because it takes a certain mentality. For me, when I'm standing and praying, like, bro, I'm a little tired, right? But no, I want to finish this chapter. All right, I finished the chapter. I want to do another one. I want to keep pushing myself. So I push myself for the 4 hours, 5 hours, and then I go to sleep. And then I wake up for the dawn prayer, right? I do my dawn prayer, and then now I start working my day. I'm working hard on my day. Noon comes around. I could do a quick exaltation to my Lord at noon. I'm telling you my schedule. And if I choose, I can sleep from noon till the afternoon, right? Because that's an aura for me. That's a time for me to be in my private sector. So from noon to about afternoon is a good time to sleep as well. So that's your midday siesta. And then you wake up. You can exalt your Lord for a little bit, do a really quick prayer. You work again. You work really hard until when? Sunset. Sunset comes by. You do your prayer. You finish your hour prayer. You could sleep for 2 hours, 3 hours again, because you were sleeping 2-3 hours every time you get a chance. 2, 3, 4 hours. You get up. You do your night prayer, or you work on something that you need to work on, and then you go through the night. You sleep for 2-3 hours, and you repeat. So we have 3 times of sleeping. Some of us take it as 2, and some of us don't want to do the night prayer. We'll do a very short prayer, and then we have to get to work the next day. God is very understanding. He's just giving you a system and a discipline. You apply it to your life.
What surah is this again? I wanted to see the translation I have, what it says.
Muzammil. So go all the way up, and I'll tell you the name. 73, I believe. Sorry.
So this is so different than what's traditional in at least the masjids I've been to. Or maybe not so different. Actually, no, I take that back. That's not so different. Still morning, night.
They just abrogated. This is 73. Okay, but brother, let me take you to verse
I'm gonna read real quick 73:20 in my Quran.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the translation I have.
Yeah. That's I was hearing you read it. It's pretty decent.
$73:20. Prophet, your Lord is well aware that you sometimes spend nearly 2/3 of the night at prayer. Oh my gosh. Sometimes half, sometimes a third, as do some of your followers. God determines the division of night and day. He knows that you will not be able to keep a measure of it, and he has relented towards all of you. So recite as much of the Quran as is easy for you. He knows that some of you will be sick, some of you traveling through the land seeking God's bounty, some of you fighting in God's way. So recite as much as is easy for you. Keep up the prayer, Pay the prescribed alms and lend God a good loan. Whatever good you store up for yourselves, you will find with God, better and with a greater reward. Ask God for his forgiveness, and he is most forgiving, most merciful. So
Brother Gracie,
it's not an obligation.
it is almost it's nafila is like something that is an extra for you, but you have to do something because that's your third prayer or that's your middle prayer. So something has to be given, but the more that you give, it's better for you. So we are in a world where it's all about your mentality and how hard you work and all of this stuff that people love to talk about. About 1400 years, have you heard about Prophet Muhammad? You have. So
Yes.
that man's ingredients and his mentality has dominated history for such a long time in such an amazing way, because the Quran is clearly telling you this guy had multiple wives. He had multiple homes to take care of. This man was a general in the army. He used to control an army. He was a statesman. He was the leader of a mosque. He was in many places like working hard, so that he didn't have time to sit there and debate about the Trinity for 30 hours or 20 hours. Like, bro, I gotta work. I got work to do. I got kids to feed. I got people to help guide. I gotta sit and pray on my Quran. I gotta get myself ready for what's coming. The devil has a big force. I gotta be ready. But one of him can take 10 of them because of his mentality, as God says. Like 10 of you will take 100 of them. But if there's weakness in you, 100 of you will take 200 of them. Because when they come to us and they want to fight the Quran alone, they turn around and run, most of them. Why? Because they see our eyes, they see how serious we are. We're capable of staying 2-3 days up awake because we need to get stuff done for God right now. The pilgrim, I'll stay up for 3 days if I have to. I need to help somebody, I'll do it. This is how I operate because of my Quran. I'm walking down the street. Why? Because it occurred to me it would be beneficial for me in a hostel to feed the people that I'm with. I have extra money. We're in a hostel. They don't have that much money. I'll cook something and feed everybody. So I'm walking to the store to buy the ingredients. That's revealed to me. I'm walking down the street. I see somebody with a flat tire. Bro, I'll change your tire. Move. I change his tire. I'm done. Okay, have a nice day, bro. I don't need anything from you. I get my reward from God. Don't even say thank you. Let me go. Gotta go to the store. I go to the store. Bring the food. I cook the meal. I feed the people. There isn't enough that much for me. I'm content. The people are happy. Everyone's having a good time. Feed them. Done. I go to sleep. Why? Because I gotta wake up and either get to the mosque and pray or pray in my room. Why? Because I want to spend time with this book. Bro, when I read or hear this book, they tell me, oh, you guys are so emotional in the way you approach the Quran. Quran is telling you it's an emotional relationship. When you hear the verses of God recited on them, these people that hear the verses of, they cry. Like, bro, there's certain recitations. I put my head on and cry. I cry the whole time. Like, I got my sister in my chat. She'll tell you there's times, like my believing sister. She'll tell you, like, there's like times when I'm sitting and I'm just hearing, I can't stop crying, bro. And because it's like the Quran it's a tragedy, bro. The Quran is a tragedy for the disbeliever. They're having the romantic time now, and then it's a tragedy for them. It's a sad story for them, right? It's a Romeo and Juliet for them. They're having their fun, and they hell. That's a disbeliever. For the believer, it's a tragedy that I'm away from my God now. So I'm sad. I want to go back to God. I want to get back to the mentality my father Adam had. I don't want to have this evil fight. And I'm sad as a believer because I'm away from my Lord. But when do I get happy? When I die. Because now I get to go back to my Lord. So the Quran is recited in a way it's a tragedy for both sides. As God says in the Quran, that on the day of judgment, the believers will say, God has removed this sadness away from us. But this sadness is not going to let me down. Iblis, the word Iblis, devil, comes from the root word of balas, which is worse than depression. It's like depression that you cannot escape. That's what Iblis, the devil, wants you to do, to become depressed. I'm going to hell. I have no hope. Life sucks. Everything's done. I'm just going to do what I can. Like, okay, shut up, devil. Get out of here. I'm going to kick your ass. God told me to have positive shit on. Get out. Get out of here, move.
Saying it out loud helps. At least for me, I can relate.
Right.
It's like, wait, so okay, Abu Saliman. Is that how you
I love
pronounce
this man.
his last name?
Sulaiman.
Abu Saliman.
Okay, I hope I don't like his name is Abu, father of Solomon. That's how it would be. Yeah, Sulaiman could be Solomon.
Saliman.
Yeah, Sulaiman. I but let him correct me if I'm wrong. But this man is a very good man.
He's always dripping knowledge. Abo said, I don't agree that this is when we were talking a little bit ago. This is about 5 minutes
The
ago.
prayer.
I don't agree, that it is mandatory, or as he described, 100%. But that is the beauty of following your understanding and believe as much as God enables you.
Right. So a fingerprint is a fingerprint. I can see a fingerprint and say, hey, that's a fingerprint, right? Your understanding of the Quran is just like that. It's going to be unique to you. You could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, you could be a warrior for God. Whatever God is designing to you, as like designating as you, as your culture, you who you are, the Quran is going to be understood a little differently. But we're going to know that it's a Quranic understanding. Why? Because it looks like a fingerprint. If it no longer looks like a fingerprint, then you're deluded. You have some
But you're
errors.
not saying like everyone has their own truth. You're just saying in the practice of it.
The truth is the same. The truth hasn't changed. We can see the objective truth among all of us, but the practice is where it's different.
Okay. What is the objective truth that will never change amongst
You're going to get
Muslim?
the day of judgment. That will never change. I am going to be judged. That is the objective truth. I'm going to get married. Why? Not for my sexual relationships, not for me to have a companion. No, because me and her now are going to build for our hereafter. Where are you going? Work. Why? I'm going to get money so I can feed people that I need to be fed. I'm going to go build something that's going to be beneficial for society. I'm going to be an engineer so I can build things and put God's name on it. I'm going to work. Okay. What are you going to do? Well, I would like to help some orphans. If I have extra money, I'm going to open an orphanage and you run it. And if you need help, you let me know because we're working for our hereafter. We have kids. They better believe in God and they're going to work for God and they're going to have that mentality of work. Because if you're going to sit and idle all day, God says the worldly life is entertainment and idolizing. So like sitting idle, entertainment, and have fun and all this like showing off. That's the worldly life. I don't want that stuff. Bro, you muted. I heard what you said. Oh, I read your lips. I ain't no.
Hey, I didn't say it.
I heard you.
I don't know. Sometimes I get upset. I'm like, I just want everyone. I'm with you. Like, I want everyone to come together. But like, how talk is cheap. Like, how do we actually do that?
Well, look, God tells you can't. You don't have control over them.
True.
The way that you do it is by your actions, homie. It really is. Our religion is a religion of action. Like, I have absolutely no problem. This is where I'm telling you about the higher state of consciousness. Okay, let's play a game.
Okay.
There's a wall behind you. This is gonna open your mind. All right. There's a wall behind you, correct?
A wall?
Imagine there's a wall.
Yep.
Let's imagine that there's somebody behind that wall. Feel him. Like no, don't look. You don't need to look. Just, when if someone's in the next room, you are consciously aware of him without seeing him, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, above these guys, there's a Lord. Now, put him in your mind now. Like, sense him. That's truly what taqwa is, awareness.
Taqwa.
So because awareness or fearfulness of awareness. That's only for God. So when I'm walking down the street, I literally I have God with me in my mind. So when I'm looking at things and doing things, God is there. I'm talking to you now, and honestly, I'm talking to you while I'm remembering my God. I know God is above that sky. It scares me, right? But I have also now an empowerment because I know I'm conscious of God. So there's things I won't say, there's things I won't do. I won't do certain things. But when you're walking down the street and you see people arguing, something sparks in you. It's like, it really does. And in that moment, you're God's soldier. You're like, hey, stop fighting. And people look at you like, all right, okay, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to walk away. Because you just went by what God made you feel that this is not appropriate. Stop it. Okay, I'll stop it, God, right now. You guys stop fighting. Be conscious of God. Is that how you're supposed to treat your brother? Stop doing that. Stop yelling at him. Okay, it's over. Just move to the side. People go quiet very quickly because they just sense the sincere leadership because God gave you to it. God told you that's a sultan in mubin. That's like a clear authority. And God gives you that when you're conscious of God.
I like this. It's more like the philosophy that you're sharing. I've never talked to a Quran only. The fact that that's even a term is crazy, but that's beside the point. I've never talked to someone who only believes in the Quran. You seem more like, this is actually, I can relate a little bit more to my Christian upbringing, like a little more spiritual, you could say. I don't know, less like just follow this,
right?
Like
By the Quran
understand, like feel.
The closest to the believers are the Christians.
Are the Christians?
Yeah, there's a verse that says the most animosity you're going to get are from the Jews and the idolaters. But the closest to you will be the Christians because they have pastors that are not arrogant. And when they hear the words of God, they say, yeah, this is truth. And that's weird that I was able to get along with a Christian on your stream very easily, because I understand what he's about. I love Jesus as much as I love Muhammad. They don't. They say they do, but they actually don't. Okay, I don't want to sound like a weirdo. I cried when I saw how they were I was crying to God in the middle of the night on how they were like disrespecting Jesus. If I had the power, I would have done something to show him that this is blasphemous. This man is honorable.
Who was disrespecting Jesus?
In the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it hurt me so much. And my people I'm looking at Twitter. These people are like, oh, why can't you Christians stand up for your prophets? Oh, well, let them see this about Muhammad. Like, bro, he's your prophet. He's your messenger. What are you talking about? It's not like Muhammad we defend and Jesus we make fun of the Christians for not defending him. You're in trouble for not defending him, you weirdo. Don't sit there and tell the Christian it's not their job, it's your job. You say he's a Muslim prophet, he's a Muslim messenger, so defend him. No, we're here for Muhammad. Muhammad's our prophet, Jesus is their prophet. Oh, he's a Muslim, he's a good guy, but we'll just defend our guy. Well, then you're a loser. On the day of judgment, you're a loser. L's in the chat. How many L's have I been getting?
Okay, so you pray essentially dawn, evening, middle of the night, according to the Quran.
Dawn, evening, because night comes first. So evening, middle of the night, and dawn. But there is the times of exaltation, which is after sunset, after sunrise, noon, and afternoon. So if you ever go to the Sunni mosque, they're quiet in their noon prayer and they're quiet in their afternoon prayer. But their morning prayer, their evening prayer, and their night prayer, they're loud. Because the Quran tells you, don't be loud in your prayer and don't be low in your prayer, and find the middle ground. And they do that on the 3 times that match with the Quran. Dum, dum, dum. But brother, I would like you to pull up a verse, which is you were reading today, which is 6:1-14.
6:1-14. You mean to pull it up?
Yes, sir.
I can't believe people consider someone who only follows Quran like, look at this.
They hate us,
Hello,
bro.
Felix. Hi, Grace and you, but I don't understand why you're losing your time, blah, blah. Here, so just misguide you. Look at the last part. Islam is serious. Why are you circling around the truth? Talk with Muslims. As if you're not a Muslim?
No, he's saying talk with Sunnis. That's what he's saying. They hijacked the term. That's unfortunate. Fine, you want to talk to Muslims? Fine, but I'm a submitter. I submitted my will to God. And my brother here, Grayson, understand what that means. But you obviously have a problem with that. But yeah, perfect timing for 6:1-14.
Oh. Hello, Felix. Okay, let me get rid of this. All right. 6:1-1-4?
Yeah, 114.
This one right here. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to read it.
Read it.
6:1-1-4. Yeah, I was reading chapter 6 today earlier. Surah 6 goes crazy. I was just like, I couldn't stop. I was like, I need to like go. It's like, oh, it's 9:50. I got to go home. And then I was just like,
they all do.
I was like, one more page. And I was like, oh, it's not over yet. And then I was like, I can't stop.
Right.
Okay. Just like, it brings you so much, especially reading outside. So shall I seek a judge other than God. So shall I seek a judge other than God, while he is the one who has revealed to you the book, explained in detail. And those to whom we gave the book know that it has been revealed from your Lord in truth. So do not be of the doubters.
Oh, well, bro, the Quran just gives you a general statements, and then the detail is somewhere else. So why is that verse telling me it's explained in detail, buddy? Huh?
I don't know. My whole world's I'm like, I realized Islam is true, and I realized, so that was a huge step for me.
Alhamdulillah.
And
Peace and blessings, brother Munir.
Yeah. No. Why am I saying that like I'm sad? But now
don't go from the pan to the frying. Like you don't go from the pot to the frying pan.
What does that mean?
Like you were idolizing Jesus, don't go into idolizing Muhammad. You know, you'll end up like a certain Sunni cowboy that wants to say a lot of nonsense from far but can't sit and talk because they don't know what their hadith books say. I wish I had a chance to talk to Bobby's perspective. I tried. We talked a little bit in the comment section. I swear if I said Bobby's perspective, he would agree in most of what I said because he's a man with a spark just like you. He's a very intelligent person. He's a very, very smart man. I would love to talk to Bobby's perspective because he's in it. If you travel the world, you've seen how God is with many cultures.
Yeah.
We're a single community with and people. God said that we have different tongues, and the tongues are the tongues are like they make you who you are. Like you could see the Germans, they're an engineering people. Why? Because their language is engineering. Arabs are so like Arabs are about parsing, so there's a lot of parsing. There's no tenses in Chinese, so it has to be very disciplined. They're disciplined people. English, they just do whatever they want, so they have the concept of freedom. I don't know, but that's the beauty about life. God gave us black and white in all these colors, not to put each other down. It's just because when we come together, we make this amazing image. And the person who can, like, there's obviously people who are more physically fit than me, and then there's me with a big beard, and I look pretty. Like, I don't know. Everyone has their blessings from God. So why do we look at these weaknesses and these differences? It's so stupid. Like, so weird, bro.
But aren't you looking at the differences continuously by sharing the differences? I mean, I agree with you. Meaning that, like,
I look at
Muslim
the strength.
is following the Quran, but like this whole conversation has been about like them.
When I say them, they know who they are. There's many Sunnis. I told you right from the get-go. Fareed responds. I'll sit with him. We'll have a coffee. We'll talk. It's A-okay. There's a few of them. If you go into the Middle East, your average layman that walks down the street that didn't go into their scholarship, he's a better Muslim than the scholars because he'll pray, he'll give his money, he'll work, he'll take his family, and he won't say lies about God. Just the average layman, right? But the issues that I'm saying it's their scholars and the students of knowledge where they talk to you arrogantly. Like, you don't agree with me? Well, you too, bro. Do you. I'm here to make peace. I'm here to build bridges. If you don't want to build bridges, you're more than welcome to come pray at my mosque. Why can't I pray at yours? God says that there's people that took mosques to divide people. That's you. Like, I don't get it. They hijacked the Quran, unfortunately.
But I feel like all the energy devoted to like even using the language like them is like perpetuating the differences.
Well, brother, we have to call out the hypocrisy. We have to get through that. We have to get to them so their own people will speak to them. Be like, guys, like, no, he's right. We have to find peace. We have bigger enemies. We need to get together. The Quran is the common ground. You guys want your Hadith? Have your Hadith. But this guy says he believes in God and believe. Why are you trying to kill him? Literally.
Yeah.
Brother, they put me through hell. Like, I say you're right. I did that. I can sit with Ace. I sat with all sorts of people. The people that harmed me the most were the Sunnis, bro. I got poisoned. I got kicked out of my homes. I got hounded. I got stalked. I got death threats. It's because I say I don't believe in their hadith, or I say Abu Hurairah was a liar. The Abu Hurairah that they write in the hadith, I don't know Abu Hurairah himself, and I don't know what he said and what he didn't do. But the stuff that they write about him, it's a lot of it's nonsense. Adam was not 30 meters tall, bro. We don't have no evidence of that. And humanity didn't go from 30 meters down to 6 meters. It's just nonsense. Well, no, the prophet said that. No, he didn't. Prophet won't lie.
What does a traditional Muslim today, traditional meaning, all the Muslims that I've met who accept Hadith, I've never met a Muslim in real life that doesn't accept Hadith in physical world. Yeah, I mean, but like, still, we connected over the internet. Like, I haven't met someone around me. But what do they say to the question of, actually, Abraham wasn't a Sunni or Shia? Like, what do they say to that?
Okay. So God says that there's
because
people
that's such
that
a good point. Like, there was no such thing as this before, and Islam didn't start when Muhammad came. It started from the beginning with Abraham.
They don't see it that they don't know what the Quran says. The words of God does not affect them. They're sealed. That's what God says about idolatry. But there is my brother. I have a good brother. His name is Roman. He has this initiative. It's called Believers United, right? BelieversUnited.org, and he's trying to bring our community together in the United States. And he has his brother Jamal, our brother Jamal. He's also trying to open a mosque. He's also a Quran alone in the United States. So there are people like in Saudi Arabia. We have freeminds.org. There's a good brother. His name is Laith. He has a collective of bringing people together. In Europe, we have a lot of people. Like in Turkey, we have Edip Uksel, who's the Turkish people are very loving this message of Quran alone because they don't want to be Arab. The Hadith makes you Arab.
I don't. I don't even understand the term Quran. If you actually think about it, like the term Quran alone doesn't even make sense. The book says this is the book.
Yeah, it's the book. Bro.
So
This is
when
the
did
book.
people say that? Oh, in 1800, the Quran only movement started. But I'm like,
No, it's
well,
not like.
what do you mean?
That's a lie.
I came to this conclusion on my own just by reading the Quran.
Right.
Like,
Well,
I'm like, wait, like
their own
if I would
hadith
have read
book
this
is.
forever ago, I would have decided the same thing. It didn't take. I think
Well,
it's just like programming. It's just programming. Like if you grow up being told that, it's the same thing with Jesus. Jesus is God. Jesus is God. Like if you tell something like a myth or a legend long enough, it becomes just thought of as a fact. And so when I, never even knowing what Islam was, when I read the Quran for the first time, I saw what we're talking about today. I saw it destroys any idolization. With like, I was just so shocked when it says this is going to happen when Jesus goes to heaven. God's going to say, would you ever like say that you were mean? Never would I say such a thing. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Muhammad, like I'm waiting kind of like for it to, I don't know, hype him up. And he's like, I'm nothing but a messenger, just like the ones before me. And so,
but brother,
this
is what's, because it's just the curse of humanity. We're doomed to fail, except those that are righteous. But just the thing that is very interesting to me is that their own books tell them that this is what's going to happen. And if you quote their hadith books to them, they get to pick and choose. And there's a verse that says, like, do they have a book that they study in? They get to pick and choose whatever they want. Like, so they get to pick and choose from their hadith books. It's all authentic. It's all from the Prophet, but this I'll take and this I won't take. So when the Prophet says like, hey, my community, this is their hadith. I don't believe in this, but this is what they believe. They say this is what he said. My community is going to follow the communities before it. Step by step, foot by foot, that even if they fell into the hole, my community will follow it. So his people, I question him, do you mean the Christians and the Jews? He goes, yeah, you guys are going to follow the Christians and the Jews. Okay, you guys just became, like for me, the Shias are very similar to the Christians, but instead of Muhammad, they have Ali, one of the cousins. They pretty much worship him. While the Sunnis are very similar to the Jews in their style. And the Shias are very, like they're willing to talk to us and they understand what we're saying, while the Sunnis want to persecute us, just like how the Jews want to persecute the believers. So God says that the Quran is an example for all things. And we're seeing the example in them, unfortunately. They're supposed to be our brothers.
Yeah. I'm just kind of wondering like where I go from here now. I'm so sick and tired. Well, I guess this is the point of all the message, but like I'm tired of not being like agreeable upon everyone. I mean, but it's still the main message, like only it's just like I don't know. I do just get a strange feeling. Okay, what about like saying peace and blessings be upon him?
That's fine. Peace and blessings on all the prophets and messengers. It's not just him. They make it exclusive to him, but God's way doesn't change. So when God says that the wives of the prophet, right, are our mother, that's not just Prophet Muhammad. That's any time a prophet came. When God says obey God and the messenger, it's not just the messenger. Anyone who has the title of the messenger, it's specific. That applies to them. It's like God saying obey God and the king. So if the king dies and a new king comes, it's the exact same rule. So when God's saying like obey God and obey the messenger, anytime a messenger comes and they say Jesus is coming back, they claim that. So when Jesus comes back, he's not a messenger. You don't have to obey him. So it's just nonsense what they say. It's just Muhammad. It isn't. Gabriel is a messenger. The angels are messengers. You don't obey them. Yeah, you do. So they have a way of just giving it exclusive to Muhammad. When God says that the angels and God, they pray on the prophet, that happened every time a prophet came. So when they say Jesus, they have to say alayhi salawatu wassalam. If they say Muhammad, they have to say alayhi salawatu wassalam because they do it. So it has to be done for all of them. I don't do it because I can't keep up. If I want to talk about Moses and Jesus and Muhammad in the same sentence, then I might miss one. So I'm not going to commit myself to something that I can't upkeep. Just like that. Just like my brothers. So I don't say that.
Yeah.
But look, 1689.
Okay, wait, before 1639?
1689.
Okay, wait, there's a few questions I wanted to go through.
Go ahead.
Questions to you.
Because, yes, that's what I would have loved.
1689? So after
Correct.
I have it? All right, let me just type it in so I can immediately switch over here. Oh, this is my friend Mo, the amateur philosopher. I love his username. Can you ask if it's okay to look at the prophet as an example, how to be a good person? And if yes, can we use hadiths from multiple sources instead of one? Ahad, I don't know what that means. And use modern historic scholarship. So can we look at it as an example, like of how to be a good person? And if so, can we use hadiths from multiple sources instead of one?
Well, no. So their hadith science. So Bukhari, the most important book that the dude wrote, he memorized 600,000 hadiths. He only gave you 7, right? But there's different types of hadith and their science. So yeah, but that's just the abrogated version, right? Right, that dude, the summarized. That's the small one because I think it's actually I think it's 4,000 pages in total. 9 books at 400 pages. Yeah, and this is just a tiny one.
Should I read it in one sitting?
I do it, but they will actually. But the thing is, there's the problematic hadith. They will hide it. So hadiths that they know is not gonna fly with the West, they won't put it in there because why should we summarize that? So they hide that stuff. Like a goat ate 2 verses of the Quran, and that's why they're not there. But you're supposed to stone people, and an adult can breastfeed. Like you can suck not your wife's boob 10 times, or now it's 5, and now she's not legal for you to get married. But you could go suck on her boobies 5 or 10 times. Oh, that's in the Quran, but the goat ate it. Excuse me. Yeah, they literally this is not authentic. That this is Hasan. This is like you know what? There could be some truth to it, but the chain can have a small problem. But you could use it as a way of judgment. So yeah, like go ate the Quran, bro. That's why we don't have those verses. 2 verses from the Quran are missing.
Okay. Wait. So is it okay to look at the Prophet as an example? I mean, of course so, right?
Yes, but the Prophet's examples in the Quran. So God tells you that he was very kind-hearted, because in kunta fadlan ghalid al-qalb. So if you were like tough-hearted, they would have left you. So we know the Prophet was very good hearted. وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلْقٍ عَظِيمٍ, and you are of high morals. So you want to be of high morals. That's how we follow our Prophet. I'm showing the characteristics that I understood, right? So it's not about being mean. It's not about being controlling. It's taking everybody as your equal or brothers in this. But that's the example. But there's verse that says that there's a good example in the Prophet for whoever wanted God in the last day and remembered God a lot. So the examples of what the Prophet went through, I go through them. So they call me crazy, they call me retarded, they call me all sorts of things. They call me kafir. True. But then I just do what my Prophet did. I just take it easy because God's going to take care of it. If they curse me, I can curse them, but I'd rather go for peace. If they come back and apologize, I don't grudge on it. I don't sit and dwell on things. So I'd follow my example of my Prophet. But then there's the example.
Do you think he mocked them? It seems like you're mocking them a lot. Which, I mean, you can. I'm just wondering, like, do you think that Muhammad did that? Like this,
brother, I don't think so.
I sense that grace in which Muhammad tuned down the mocking. Me too.
Okay, fine. Look.
Well,
you know what?
No, I'm just
that is.
If you think that.
You know what? Sure, you're right. Because I think online I have to put a certain persona for people to be. There's a little bit sense of a character for entertainment. Obviously, offline I wouldn't do that. And even if me and you were sitting across the table, not with however many people are watching, because I don't know how many people are watching, I would be a little different. I don't know, but I would be a little different because it would be just me and you. But here it's online and there's a sense of entertainment. I'm not specifically calling them that they do that, but I am being a character and I'll tone it down. You're right. And I apologize if I offended you.
No, I'm not telling you what to do. Like, you're free to do it.
No, but you're right, bro.
Don't you see that you're making fun of them? It feels like it's perpetuating the anger.
You're right. And there is a verse, which is a difficult verse. God says that those that you have animosity with, you should treat them as your best friends, because God can change that animosity into, and nobody achieves that except the patience. I do apologize, and I'm sorry for any student that was taking offense in the way that I was speaking. I'll take it back. And if you forgive me, I hope God forgives me.
Hey, amen. I mean, in a sense, I don't blame you for... You've told me that you received... I mean, I'm looking at the chat right now. It's so toxic. Like, at least my chat.
They love me. No, mine's all right.
No. I'm talking about mine is insanely...
Right.
Liar. Like, it's so annoying. Like, if I talk to a Christian online or someone... It's the same thing as when I almost talk to someone of a different faith. Like, liar, he's ignorant, he's lying.
Right.
Don't listen to
him.
But what I don't even
bring
know
the lines.
All you said was just the Quran.
Right. And there's a verse in the Quran goes, do you guys want to take revenge on us? Because, oh, people of the book, do you take revenge on us because we said that we believe in God and we believe what was brought down to us and what was brought down to you? And the majority of you are like fasiqun. Like you disconnected from what God has ordered you to do. Like you're immoral. That's what God says. But that's what I see. I'm just witnessing. I would love for people to realize how amazing the book truly is. I don't need another book. Like I just don't need it. I've been doing this for a long time. I never needed another book. For me, like as my brother said, calm down he's right. There's verses in the Quran that supports what he said because it's not proper. And I apologize. I actually feel bad now. But may
For
God
what?
forgive me. Because I shouldn't have been as mocking. So
Oh.
yeah, it's not as helpful.
Oh, Hafsa has a comment here. He tries to follow prophet. So outside of Hadith, what is Muhammad's opinion of Prophet Muhammad? If we knew factually what he did, how would you take that?
But if it's something that's in regard to guidance, I would have to take it from the Quran. Quran is my guidance. As I said, 1689. That book has all that I need. If there's something that's factual about the Prophet that's in history, that's a history. I never said that the Prophet was low on morality or had issues or any of that. But the Prophet, I'm following the example of my Prophet. How? The Prophet said, say there is only one in Allah, Qul huwa Allahu ahad, right? So I say it. That's what God told my Prophet, and the messenger told me, so I say it. Allahu ahad. So I'm obeying my Prophet and I'm following the words of my Prophet. That's what he told me. That's what God told him to tell me.
Is this the verse?
Yeah.
Should I read it? In the day we will raise.
Yes.
We will raise among you every nation, a witness against them from themselves. And we will bring you, Muhammad, as a witness against these people. And we have revealed the book to you as clarification for all things and as guidance and mercy and good news for the submitters.
So you see that it's clarification for all things.
Yeah.
So any situation that I'm put in, there's a verse that tells me how to deal with it. Because God says that, the other book, 1854.
Everyone always says, okay, so how do you pray?
Yeah, because they just want me to go up to their standards. I don't need to stick to their standards. And here you go.
And we have certainly conducted in this Quran of every example for the people, but the human being is disputing most things.
And what is it? There's every example for the people in this Quran. There's an example for everything. And then you can also go to 638, where God is telling you about the book.
638. And there is not a creature on earth, nor a bird flying with its two wings, except as nations like you. We have not left out anything in the register. Thus they will be assembled to their Lord.
The word register there is the kitab, the book. God has not left anything out of the book. It's the exact same word that's used for the Quran in other places, al-kitab. ما فرطنا من الكتاب من شيء. We did not leave anything out of the book. But there's also the concept of the book that's recording everything as well. So everything is recorded at God. Brother, the message of the Quran is very simple. You have the example of, first of all, you have the example of Noah. You have the example of Thamud, Salih, Hud. You have the example of Yunus. You have the examples of Moses, and then you have the example of Jesus. They all said the same thing. You guys are in a difficult shape right now. You guys are very oppressive, and you're oppressing yourselves. Repent back to your Lord and serve your Lord. That's the straight and narrow path. Come back to the light. And the majority of them will refuse. God will remove those people, and he will allow his believers to reestablish the world in a positive light. Right? But if God doesn't want that, then it's the hour.
So where does one go from here to if you find yourself in my position where you do see confusions? I mean, I'm still researching, but I see confusions with how
But,
Islam is
but,
practiced and like idolizing Prophet Muhammad. Now what? Like now what?
but
There's only one masjid in my town. Like it's no. I haven't talked to
so
many people there about this, but I don't think people will agree with this. So
well, you should still go to that mosque because God tells you to, oh child of Adam, like show your face at every mosque, but you're not going to be welcome. You're not going to feel welcomed, especially if you start talking about how you have problems with the hadith. So you probably might have to sit back at home with your prayer if you're really going to go through the route that you're taking. If you're going to say that, hey, maybe I accept some hadith, and then they might be a little bit more understanding. They'll treat you differently is because you're a revert. They will not treat me differently because they know I was born a Sunni. To them, according to them, I'm legal to be killed. You're not in that state yet. I'm an apostate, according to
you're
them.
an apostate for only following the Quran.
Yeah, for saying God's book is enough, and that's literally in the hadith. There's a verse that says that in the hadith they have a, like, where Omar, one of the best friends of the Prophet, says like the Prophet on his dying bed, and again, I don't think it's true, it's just stuff that they said, that the Prophet on his dying bed asked for a pen and paper, right? And he said that I'm going to write something down for you that this is the easy one, Hafsa. So he said, I'm going to write down something for you guys to never be deluded again, okay? And then Omar goes, the book of God is sufficient for us. Don't bring him a pen and paper. So Omar is literally saying, his best friend, one of the caliphs, saying the book of God is sufficient. And Omar didn't go collect no hadith. Abu Bakr didn't go collect hadith. Uthman didn't go collect hadith. These are the four. Ali didn't go collect hadith. Those are the four big dudes after the Prophet who took care. Now here it says, what about if you love God, follow me, right? If you love the God, follow me. So there was a bunch of people saying there's multiple gods. And there's one man, the blessed Prophet, saying there's one God. What do you want to follow? What about Surah Ghafir, right? The Forgiver. There's a chapter called Forgiver. The guy goes, hey, like the guy that was concealing his faith among the people of Pharaoh, he goes, guys, follow me. I'll show you the straight and narrow. So does that mean now he has hadith and I have to follow me? It's like, hey, bro, Kamala Harris, she wants to start the war and whatever. Trump doesn't want to start the war. Who do you follow? That's what follow me means. So if you love God, follow a prophet. There's only one God. There's a day of judgment.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me.
Okay.
Like I have a friend, what?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I have a very pious friend a Muslim brother who, like, has just been an incredible example to me. And he's never said the words, if you love God, follow me. But I can see in the sense of, like, if I follow him, I'm just, like, following the monotheism. Like, is that what he's saying here? Like,
well, here the verse is saying that the Prophet is saying, Prophet has to say in the Quran, قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم والله غفور رحيم. I believe that's what the verse is. So the Prophet said, say that if you love God, then follow me. فاتبعوني. Then God will love you, right? And he will forgive your sins. And God is the merciful, and gracious, right? But yeah, it's like, follow me in submission. Follow me, submit to God. Follow my worldview. What's his worldview? ثم أوحينا إليك نتبع ملة إبراهيم حنيفا. And then we inspired to you to follow the inclination of Abraham, monotheistic.
yeah.
So the Prophet was following the mentality of Abraham. The angels came to Abraham. The angels said, like, hey, we're going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Or Lot's in there. We're going to rescue Lot. Okay, but like, he started to debate with God. Like, God, like, they're going to get destroyed. They're going to go to hell. Just let them have that 10 minutes. He was forbearing. God says, no, the judgment is done. They're going to get destroyed. But he goes, Abraham was so forbearing. Abraham's mentality and his worldview and his relationship with God, God took Abraham as his best friend. So we want to have the same style of thinking of Abraham. Like these guys, these Americans, let's say, they are so degenerate, some of them, in regards to God. They hate God. They want nothing with God, and they're very degenerate in what they're doing. God's going to destroy them and put them in hell. Well, let them have this extra 5 minutes on earth. Let them have that extra 30 years. They're going to have a very terrible end. So just let them be. Like, why would I get angry at people going to hell? That's what I learned from Abraham.
So if you love God, follow me. You're saying that means just follow the monotheistic religion. But what about
Yes.
that other verse that says, allow me to make, if there's any confusion on like what to do, let me make the distinction. Essentially, something of the sort. You know what I'm
Okay.
referring to?
So yeah. So the verse is saying, there's a verse. If there's فلا يؤمنون حتى إذا يحاكمونك أن تحكم بينهم فيما شجر بينهم ولا يجدون في أنفسهم حرجا بما. I can pull it up, but it's like a verse. It's like they will not believe until they
What verse is this?
use. I can pull it up. ولا ربك فلا وربك فلا وربك لا يؤمنون. It should be 465.
Someone said, Grayson is seeing right through him. I don't understand. All you're telling me is the Quran.
Right.
Oh, I don't get it.
Devil decorates people's deeds. So is this the one that you're talking about?
But no way by your Lord they do not believe until they make you judge in whatever they dispute among themselves, and should find no difficulty within themselves from what you have decided, and to submit with submission. Yeah, this is like submit to Muhammad. I don't know if this is referring to people right then or...
No. To submit with submission here, yusallimu taslima is to submit to the judgment. But there's another verse where God is telling you, we brought down the book on you to judge between the people what they used to differ in. So the prophet, they would come to the messenger and they will say what's going on with them. And the messenger will be like, well, God said this, so do that. So he had to use the Quran for judgment. It's not his own mind. And God told him, use the book to judge between them. So he has a sense and a morality and a worldview that's better than the man next to him. So he's going to have a better judgment. It's got nothing to do with him saying, oh, well, like, go stone somebody. Well, God never said to stone him. Well, no, I'm saying to stone him. It doesn't work that way. Because there's a verse God is saying, oh, prophet, why are you forbidding on your wives what God has made legal for you? So God is ordering you to remove that oath. So the prophet can't say something's legal and illegal. The prophet had to judge with the book. أنزلنا عليك الكتاب لتحكم بينهم. No, sorry, let me get the verse. It's better. Yeah, so verse 4105. So we're going to the prophet for judgment. Yeah, we're going to the prophet for judgment. And this is what the prophet was ordered to do.
Indeed, we have revealed the book to you, Muhammad, in truth, so that you may judge between the people by what God has shown you. And so do not be an adversary for the traitors. Wait, what does this mean? And do not be an adversary?
For the traitors. So don't compete with the traitors.
Okay.
Adversary.
Okay, so you're saying by like using this verse, the book has been revealed to Muhammad to be the judge. So in the other verse where it's like submit to what he's saying, he is saying the Quran. So
right. No, well, okay. So as you see, the Quran is an example for all things. So there's verses that can be applied a little differently based on the situation that's happening. So they would go to the messenger or they would go to the prophet and be like, hey, this guy said this and that guy said this. So the prophet would then like say, well, these are the verses that are applicable to you. So this is what you guys should do, right? So he used the book to judge in between them. So we had an example earlier at the beginning of the streams, the Palestinians and the Israelis, right? The Zionists, sorry, because Israeli, they're technically both Israeli, but as in the prophet Israel, not in the state, so people can calm down. So we use the book to judge between them. Okay, I had an issue with me and Smiler, the positive Christian. I used the book to judge between us. I had an issue with some Sunnis. I used the book to judge between us. I'm following my prophet. I'm following the message. I'm following the messenger. And God's helping me with more messengers, as he's helping anybody that says that Lord is our God, as God says in the Quran.
it does seem like a paradox though. So like if Muhammad or maybe this was a hadith too. If Muhammad was living the Quran, and then people
He's a living Quran.
A living Quran. If that's true,
Yes.
so let's assume that that's true. He was doing that for sure. If he was doing that, and then people correctly recorded how he did things throughout his life, why would that not? If he was living the living Quran, why would we not follow that too?
Well, brother, if you see what the Quran is telling you, and then you're getting narrations that are contradicting the Quran, and he wasn't living the Quran.
But
Therefore,
I've heard I've talked to someone else who's like who believed in the Hadith. I forgot exactly who it was, but they were like, yeah, you always go if anything disagrees with the Quran, then you don't follow it. Like they accepted.
They say that, but when there's the theory, but when it comes to practice, your opinion doesn't matter. They'll tell you that your opinion doesn't matter. If the consensus said so, your opinion doesn't matter. But now it got to a point where there's a verse where God's saying that if you're approaching death, O believers, if you're approaching death, it has been prescribed upon you that you should leave a good will for your parents and your relatives, right? You have to leave a will, right? But then the hadith, it says there is no will for the inheritor. So the hadith is canceling verses of the Quran out. So it's not obey God and obey the messenger, it's just obey the messenger at this point. Because the messenger can say, no, you don't take this verse anymore. This verse is not applicable. It's there, but we don't do it. And then there's verses in the hadith that we do, like the stoning. It's not in the Quran. So it's obey the messenger, which is idolatry.
Wait, so what? A hadith follower? What are they doing? I know there's billions of them, or billion plus. What are they doing that is going against the Quran? Like, what actionable things are they doing that is like literally going against the Quran?
Well, in their prayer, they're invoking the Prophet. That's going against the Quran. They're using another book to judge. They differentiated and sectarized the religion. They became sectarians. That's against the Quran. They don't love God they love other entities more than God. They took their scholars as a position of power, which they don't need to have. They've placed a lot of people in hell in their theology, which the Quran is a lot forgiving. And God says that who is more unjust than the one who says lies about God? So they unfortunately said a lot of lies about God. That God has two right hands.
So wait, was Muhammad a Shia or a Sunni?
Neither. He was following Abraham. But they'll say to you he was a Sunni. He was a Sunni because it was his tradition. No, he was a Quran alone because he just had the Quran. He didn't have the book of Bukhari. Nor did he authorize, nor did he want, nor did he order anybody to write. And even in the book of Bukhari, it says that whoever writes about me other than the Quran, they should erase it. That's literally what the prophets, they say that the prophet said. If anyone writes about me other than the Quran, they should erase it.
Where does it say that?
But they say, this is in the Hadith, Bukhari, but they say, oh no, that's abrogated.
What? Wait, what Hadith is that?
I'll show you. Chat, my chat, can you guys help me with the Hadith reference? وَمَنْ كَتَبَ عَنِّي غَيْرَ الْقُرْآنِ فَلْيَمْحِيهِ. So now I have to find it in English, which I believe no, so sorry, this is Sahih Muslim. It's not Bukhari. This is also.
So now you believe the Hadiths?
No, bro. Like this is. It's like as if me quoting the Bible. When I quote the Bible, now apparently I believe that I'm a Christian. I'm quoting your own books, guys, homies. I'm trying.
Oh wait, which one is it? How do I pull it up?
I found it, and it ends in a very bad way. So they're in trouble. If this hadith is actually accurate, they're in big trouble. But they'll tell you it's abrogated. You don't know what our scholars say. Well, then why do you have this if it's not there anymore? Right. So, guys, all you need is this.
This is precisely how I felt when I read the Quran. I was like, the true religion. And then I look into it, like,
here you go, bro.
The book, but how it's practiced, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Here it is.
It's not being practiced really how it says to.
It's in the private chat. I sent you a message.
This is
You guys better not.
exciting and disappointing.
Why, bro? You're liberating yourself from idolatry. This is just exciting.
Oh yeah,
You have
yeah,
to be
yeah.
like our
I've
father
already
Abraham.
been liberated. Like I'm just finding someone who I view as liberated already. Like I've already felt liberated as soon as I started believing in one God worthy of worship. No idols. He's nothing but a messenger. Everyone has just been a messenger.
Brother, we're
But
the
it's
winners.
disappointing to realize, like, wait, now what? How do I practice this with my Muslim friends? Do I just like do what they do? Like pray how they pray because I'm learning
Okay,
how to,
this is gonna sound sad. And it's in this day and age, when you're a believer, it's you're not lonely, but you'll find yourself alone because the other side hates you while you're okay with them. Not like it's not okay, but you're willing to make peace with anybody.
Yeah, so now I was Christian, and now everyone's like, oh, he left. Like people in my life, like, oh, you're becoming Muslim, and then I become Muslim, and then I'm like, oh, well, I'm this Muslim. So now
Now you're gonna be like,
So now there's just nobody.
it's just me and you against the world, bro.
No, but like we're together. Like they're still Muslim. They still believe in God alone. They still pray to God alone.
They obviously believe in God. They believe in the last day. Unfortunately, they could be doing more for themselves, and they have other extracurricular activities that I don't want to attribute myself to, but they want to force me to it. So God rescued me from their millah, and if for me to join, God has to tell me to join it, and that's a verse in the Quran. If they know the Quran, they would recognize which verse I just said to them. My God rescued me for them. Why would I go back to what God rescued me for? Because, like, bro, what you saw now, I guarantee you, nowhere in your life you're gonna be like, yeah, you know what? All of this hadith, I need it. Even if you do accept and you start following certain procedures that they have, and you want to say that you do accept that hadith has a necessity and all of this, you will never be able to undo the fact of the contradictions you're going to find in that book. It's impossible. That's why they have all these apologetics in the way, like, bro, we didn't even touch the surface of the hadith of what they have.
So
but here, read that
This
one.
is a hadith that wait, is this considered? I
Yes.
forgot the word. This is considered
Sahih.
authentic?
Authentic. The word's right there. Sahih Muslim.
Do
So there's
not
two Sahih.
Take
Go
down
ahead.
anything from me, and he who took down anything from me except the Quran, he should efface that and narrate from me. What does that mean? Efface?
Erase it.
Do not take down anything from me, and he who took down anything from me except the Quran, he should erase that and narrate from me. For there is no harm in it, and he who attributed any falsehood to me, and Haman said, I think he also said deliberately, he should in fact find his abode in the hellfire.
So we kind of know, we think this is what the Prophet said at this point. It's not like this is what he said. We have maybe that's what he said. So it's authentic, but maybe. And what does narrate mean? Oh, it means the hadith. Yeah, bro. Like this hadith, they have like a whole, they'll write a whole book about this. And then they'll say that the Prophet said that King Solomon, the son of David, both prophets, King Solomon had sex with 70 or 90, because they don't know what number the Prophet actually said, 70 or 90 women in one night. But he only had one child. Because Solomon said that I'm going to build a whole army for God. So he had sex with 70 or 90 wives, or of his wives, and he only had one child because he didn't say inshallah. So make sure you say inshallah. That's sahih, that's authentic. Because one man is going to have sex 70 to 80 times in one night. 8 minutes a pop.
It does.
If it's a 12-hour night.
It does say in the Bible that he had 1,000 wives.
Right, and most of the narrators were of a Jewish background. So a lot of things seeped in. But it doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that he had sex with 70 or 90 of them in one night, did they?
No.
I mean, like, it's kind of like physically difficult to like have sex 79s with you also finishing the task because you want kids. And only getting one because you didn't say inshallah. Do you want to see the hadith where the children of Israel were thinking that Moses had scrotal hernia, that his balls were too big, that he's diseased? And the children of Israel used to take a shower, they take a bath in one lake, but Moses used to go by himself and bathe by himself. So the children of Israel were all naked together, bathing together, just skinny dipping. And then Moses used to skinny dip by himself, right? But one day, because they already said that Moses has big balls, like they're diseased, So he put his clothes on a rock and he went into the bath, but the rock came alive and the rock ran with his clothes. And so Moses got out of the shower, Moses got out of like his bath and started running naked after it. Like, hey, rock, come back with my clothes. You know, the man with the staff that was old that needed the staff to walk, he's running after a rock and he runs naked inside the whole town. And then the children of Israel see Moses with his testicles running. And he go, oh, no, his testicles are fine, right? And then they say, that's why God said that. On the Quran, it says the verse that Moses was freed of what the children of Israel said. That's why it happened. So God humiliated. Yeah, God humiliated his messenger by making him run naked in front of everybody. The messenger was upset that a miracle occurred in front of him. Moses, the man that if he threw the staff and the staff became a snake, he was scared and he wanted to run away. But when he sees a rock turn into start running, he wants to run after the rock and then he beats the rock. Like, how dare you come to life? Give me back my clothes. They painted him and this is in Bukhari, Sahih.
This is authentic?
Authentic. They'll sit there with their apologetics, but it's authentic. This is the highest level. This is the most accepted level of hadith.
Can I pull that up?
Yeah. Do you want to see Moses' testicles? Moses' testicles hadith? All right. Yeah. But you see, it's disgusting that I have to say this about my prophet. Let me pull it up. So it's Sahih al-Bukhari. Let me see. Yeah, this is it where they're talking about his testicles. Oh, no, sorry. I didn't copy it. Here's the copy. Here's the paste. Enjoy, bro.
Uh-oh.
Is someone getting upset at me?
What do you mean? This has been going on. Do not... Oh, that's someone else.
Yeah, right. Upon lies, Quranists relies. It's funny how they say the same thing, the Islamophobes.
Wait, so is this in the book I have?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they put it there. Maybe it's not part of the summary. This is what they call the wisdom, because the wisdom is not in the Quran. The wisdom is found here. This is wisdom. Let's talk about our prophet's testicles. Let me just repent to God for a second.
I'm in... Sunnah 278. Oh wait, book 5, Hadith 30. Wait, I see. I'm in the book of Gusul. Okay, so I'm in the book. There's
washing.
Chapters, and then there's numbers under the chapter.
Okay, so you might be looking at the bottom one. See how it says Volume 1, Book 5, Hadith 227. You might be looking at that reference, the gray one. I don't know that book. So.
Book 5, Hadith 277. I don't know if it's in here. It ends at 202.
Yeah, well, maybe not. It could be not in there. There's no point for putting them there. Brother, if you want to read this hadith, I will show you how much hadith there is, and you'll see how this book is missing a lot. Bukhari is about 4,000 pages, I think. Let me see. Total pages of Bukhari. $4,000 pages.
I see a Perry in the chat. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why it... But this is the official website, sunnah.com.
Yeah.
So
Bro, nobody will tell you that this is a fake hadith. They will tell you this is authentic. No one's gonna say that this is fake, or I made this up, or I went to, or I took you to a non official source. I'm not gonna say official, but a source where they have it.
Okay. I still haven't read it. Here we go. The prophet said the people of Bani Israel used to take both naked altogether, looking at each other. The prophet Moses used to take a bath alone. They said, by Allah, nothing prevents Moses from taking a bath with us except that he has a scrotal hernia.
His balls are broken.
Rip. So once Moses went out to take a bath and put his clothes over a stone, and then that stone ran away with his clothes. Moses followed that stone, saying, "My clothes, O stone, my clothes, O stone," till the people of Bani Israel saw him and said, "By Allah, Moses has got no defect in his body." Moses took his clothes and began to beat the stone. Abu Hurairah added, "By Allah, there are still 6 or 7 marks present on the stone from that excessive beating."
That's a stand-up comedy, bro. That's not wisdom. That's not that. And Abu Huraira, to us, the people who follow the Quran alone, this man in the Hadith books is one of the most. Let me save myself from more headaches. He's a problematic individual. That's the least I could say. Hey, there's a Hadith also attributed to the Prophet from Abu Huraira that the women came from the rib of man, and they came from the most highest rib, and that rib is the most crooked. And women are crooked, so don't try to fix them, because if you try to fix them, they will break. Women are crooked. That's what the Prophet said, bro. You see, this is why we hate these books, because they make our Prophet look like a loser. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. That the Prophet's gonna go around saying the man with high morals is gonna go around saying that women are crooked and don't try to fix them because they'll break. Like, which Prophet are you telling me about, bro? That's not my Prophet. That's the man that you guys want to talk about, but that's not my Prophet. My Prophet is of high morals. My Prophet takes care of his daughters. My Prophet takes care of his wives as the Quran ordered him to. Not sit there and say, "Oh, they're crooked." They hate the Shias, the other sect, because they insult one of these sects. They insult our mother. They insult one of the wives of the Prophet, Aisha, the one that they say that the Sunnis say that he had sex with her when she's 9 years old, but he married her when she's 6. But the other side insult her. They hate her. They insult her. But then if you look at Sunni Hadith, they paint her out as this terrible human being themselves. Like the Prophet will go to her like, "Hey, tell your dad, Abu Bakr, to lead the prayer." She goes, no, he's not fit to lead the prayer. And then the Prophet yells at her, "I told you go do it." And she'll argue again, no, Prophet, I'm not going to tell him. My judgment is better than yours. And he tells her the third time and he yells, "You women are just like the women of Joseph." Like, bro, that's not my Prophet. And why is my mother saying no to the Prophet? And why are you guys writing this and saying that this is what happened? You guys are crazy. Sorry. I mean, my homies have an issue. It's hard, bro. It's hard. It really has been. I've been on this road for a long time. They hate me when I want to protect my Prophet. My Prophet's not a pedophile, dude. Like, just let me be. They get mad.
So much drama.
I love him.
Can
we just? No, I don't. I said I love him. I love them, but not the drama. I don't care about. Bro, when I turn this stream off, I promise you, Sunnis don't occupy my mind for a second. I go back to my God. I start thinking about the world. I start thinking about what God created. I think about the science and how amazing the world is. That's what I focus on. But here, it's unfortunate because look at them. Just look at this, bro. Like, here, let's go. Like, look at all this hate. Look at all this hate, bro. I hope you end this convo soon. Don't listen to this guy. He thinks, I don't know how you read this. He thinks God saved him. But he sounds like he's misguided from the truth. Oh, yeah, thank you, apparently. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. Yeah, exactly. God is the only entity that I take as a guarantor.
FX Origins. Bro, he is calling his own limited understanding. We are not saying it is wrong to follow Quran. We are saying he is not following the correct methodology. Wait, but how?
Because they tell you what the methodology is. You don't have a brain. Do you know in the Quran it says to you, أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ, more than أَفَلَا تُؤْمِنُونَ. So God is asking you, do you not reason? That's said more than do you not believe. Reason is very important. But they don't reason. Blind faith. That's one of the worst diseases in the world. Blind faith. Grayson, I love you. I've talked too much. I feel like I might have gave you a headache. I apologize, but there is so much to say in such a little time.
I know. Humans can say whatever they want, but will you on the day of judgment tell Allah you believed in what was hearsay? Will you argue you listen to Hadith over Quran?
Yeah. Like, are you going to go to God and God's going to tell you, oh, my book wasn't enough. You were supposed to go to this other book?
Yeah, that
Sorry,
wouldn't go.
God.
That I don't. There's no hint in the Quran to follow another book.
But that's a dependency. So if the Hadith book never existed, then you can't follow the Quran. That's literally what a dependency is. God is dependent on Prophet Muhammad's words.
Yeah, but yeah.
Logical
I mean,
fallacy.
I've already. This is exactly how I felt.
Right? Bro, it's super clear. For somebody who's aware, it's super clear. But you're going against now the 1400 years of indoctrination. Sorry, sister, if I said that wrong.
Okay, quick break. Come right back.
All right, 20 push-ups.
20 push-ups. Let's go. Let me use the restroom, get a coffee. 5 minutes. Let's go. Let's go, chat.
What's this, bro? All right, guys. Let's try this again. Lost bald head, because maybe I'm in Mecca, just so you know. So thank you for telling me about my bald head. He is lost. Well, may God help me and you. We love you, mate. Love you too, bro. And if it's for Grayson, I'm pretty sure he loves you too. Muhammad, who is Abu Lahab, the father of the flame. In the context of me, right? That would be Iblis. And he has zurriya, by the way. He has a seed as well, as God says in chapter 18. So it's very nice when you guys ask me these questions, because it's like you're telling me I have to listen to you guys. Your questions are so, like, I wish you guys came with a substantial question where the Quran doesn't answer. The Quran answers them all. How do you know Abu Lahab? Because you guys are saying things that I don't need. These are contextualized to what you guys want to contextualize it to. And Abu Lahab is something easy. Muhammad, the Hadith are blasphemous and show moral corruptions. Yeah, buddy, you're right. The Quran does not tell you to grow a beard like a prophet. You know what? I'm gonna tell my buddy Grayson when he's back about what you guys do about the beard. Fitna. How do you perform salah? There's a few videos and we talked about this. It's open. It's open to interpretations for the Quran alone. Community. I'm a narcissist. I apologize that you feel that way, brother. We love you too, man. I love you too. Mr. Crossing too. It's appreciated your time. Oh Allah, I take refuge with you from disbelief and poverty. And I take refuge from you and from the punishment of the grave. None? I can't. Chat's going too fast. Muslims shouldn't marry kid. Yeah, exactly. God bless you too, Rahbat. You know what? You guys are haters. I'm going to talk to my people. You're right, Deanna. We obey the messenger by obeying the message. What was the message? The Quran, not Bukhari. What's up, brother Munir? What's up, sister Yatima? Check verses 10-15. It will dismantle the sectarians. All right, just let's not spam. Respect the authority among you. They take the verse out of context. When it says obey the authority among you, they have to be believers, right? Not any authority. Exactly. That's a very good verse. My brother Zingo is saying, and there's a verse in page or 1015 when it says, and when our verses are recited to them as proof, those who do not hope to meet us or to meet God, they say, bring a reading other than this or change it. Say, it is not for me to change it by myself spontaneously. I only follow what is inspired to me. Indeed, I fear the punishment of a terrible day if I should disobey my Lord. So God says to whip the adulterer. You guys say to stone him. So it seems like you guys are wanting to change the Quran. Brother Grayson's back. What's up, bro? Yeah. Don't worry about Grayson. Muhammad says indoctrination, and it makes me laugh every time. Sister, please. There's my sister Yatima has a whole list of things that I say wrong. Brother Abu Sulaiman, I don't want to let that one go. اختاروا, right? إذا ذكر الله وحده اشمأزت. Bro, how do you keep up with this chat? اشمأزت قلوب الذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة وإذا ذكر الذين من دونه إذا هم يستبشرون. So my brother Abu Sulaiman is quoting a verse where it says that when God is mentioned alone, the people that don't like God, their hearts harden, like their hearts hurt. But when the other people that are being called upon, then they're like cheerful. So if I just use the Quran, there's people like, hey, that's not enough. They're not. That's like not, their hearts hurt. But when I start using the Hadith, they're happy. That verse is applicable. What's up, brother?
Hello, brother.
I tried to entertain them, they're just not very entertained.
Oh, they're entertained. There's a lot of people listening.
I actually don't know the number, but I want to tell you something. So you don't see this beard?
Yeah.
I have a big beard and a bald head. When I'm in the West, the Spanish people, they'll point at me and they say La Barba. And it's all fun and games.
La barba.
Which means beard, the beard, right? White people and other individuals, they'll look at me and they'll be like, hey, you look like a biker. Or you look like you like death metal, hard rock, right? Cool. Yeah. Right? But then when I come to the Middle East, do you know what the word that's always thrown at me because I wear black and I have a beard? Terrorist.
In the
You
Middle
look
East.
like a terrorist. In the Middle East, the only people that call me a terrorist because of my beard and me wearing black, or my beard and wearing black, is the people in the Middle East. Not the cops, not the security forces, because they can distinguish who's a troublemaker and who isn't. But walking down the street, especially in certain countries, they look at you and they'll say it out loud to their friends. Irhabi, ISIS, Daesh. That's my people. Not the West. I went to Europe, I went to UK, I went to Albania, I went to Belgium, I went to Canada, I went all over the world by God's grace. The only people that ever called me a terrorist was literally my own people.
What?
I promise to God, bro.
But doesn't everybody? Don't Muslims look like you?
Not if I'm wearing this thing.
Black?
I have to wear, just wearing black. The way that I dress. I dress like more so like on a Western. I like my like.
Wait, but I
different
guess
type
like,
of
what's
clothes.
your meta point?
My meta point is that they themselves, they make fun of the beard. Like, why do you have a beard if it's the prophet's thing? But even they themselves are the ones who put me down for having a beard. Like, do you understand? It's something that's considered religious to them. But they insult me for having it without them even knowing if I'm a Quran alone or a Sunni or nothing. They'll either assume that I'm a Shia or they're assuming I'm Daesh.
Wait, is the beard part of? I mean, I know it's believed that Muhammad, Jesus, Moses had a beard. Believed. Yeah. Is it any type of religious obligation or duty?
It's not an obligation. It's just I like it. I grow it. There's no obligation for you to grow a beard anywhere. You're not gonna.
That's a hadith, though, right? Like I remember
There's
watching YouTube videos. Like,
Yep.
if you really follow it, then you never trim your beard.
You never trim your beard, and they don't, like, they say like the minimum is a hand, like, so like here this is technically like 2, but they say it's 1 hand is the minimum. But there's 2 schools, so you either let it go or you just put 1, and then they trim their beard, or some of them shave it. But these are whatever. Like, there's not. Okay, let me ask you a question. If Prophet Muhammad is resurrected right now and is walking the world, and all these people around him, all these Muslims, imagine if Prophet Muhammad went up to a tree, an apple tree, picked an apple, and he ate it. What do you think everybody around him would do?
Try to eat the other ones.
From that exact same tree
Yes,
forever.
probably.
Right. They will make that tree as if you ate from it, that's it. Like, you're healed from everything.
Yeah,
Yeah. What is that?
silly.
Celebrity worship.
So what status does a messenger have? Because like I've thought that too. Like they did bring the message, but like
Right.
you're also
They
sharing
have-
the message with me.
Right. But the messenger is capable of perceiving things that is direct communication from God to tell his people. It's not about worshiping the messenger, or if the prophet goes to his wife, make me a chicken sandwich. Is that a message from God now, and that all of our wives have to go make chicken? No, that's him. They have to distinguish the human from the message, but they make the human the message. When no, he was sent as a mercy for the world to tell you the message, not for you to worship the messenger. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
But
it's just like Buddhism. When I learned about Buddhism.
it's just like all of them.
Yeah,
All of
precisely.
them. Right? I followed the example of my father Abraham, and I disassociated from them, and I tell them, I am free of what you associated to God, and you have your deeds, I have mine. And there will be animosity between us until you believe in God alone. What's God alone? Here.
So it definitely hasn't gone this far. But like Buddhism went this far. Rip.
Bro, put Hagia Sophia in Turkey. It's a mosque. It's a church that they turned into a mosque.
This is actually beautiful. Where is
Why is his name Muhammad? Because my name is Muhammad.
that? What do I
I
put
should
in?
change my name.
Whoa.
Just put Hagia Sophia. That looks like a Minecraft.
Yeah, it does. That's so sick. Hagia
Sophia in Istanbul.
Istanbul.
And let's see the internals. Okay, so click that third image, or even the third image down.
Here?
Third image. No, sorry.
Oh.
Can you click back? It was on the third row down. Yep, that one. Yeah, can you make that one bigger? So you see, this is inside the mosque. They have the name of God, Allah. Next to it, the
Where?
name Muhammad. Right
Wait,
there
I don't know what any of this says.
Okay, so go to the dead center of the picture. Just put your mouse on the dead center. Okay, now move to the right a bit down. That's God. It says Allah.
Here.
Okay? Now, yes, and now go left. That's Muhammad.
What?
Right. Now, wait. Go all the far right, all the way far right. The big name on the far right. That's Uthman. That's the companion of the Prophet. Go all the way to the left. That's Ali. That's the other companion of the Prophet. So they didn't put Jesus, they didn't put Moses, they didn't put any other messenger. They just put Muhammad on the same level as God, and then they put the boys of Muhammad. It's just the guys hanging out. It's Allah, Muhammad, and the guys just hanging out on the same level up there.
But people, but wouldn't
do you
Muslims
wanna-
agree?
hold
that
on.
this is
You want to
shirk?
see that one? They wouldn't see it that way. I do. Now, do you go to the dead center of the picture, okay? That dead center. This is where they prostrate. In front of you is the Qibla. But you see, just put it right there in the dead center. That's Jesus right there. No, a little lower. That's a picture of Jesus. That's in a church that turned into a mosque. So when they prostrate, Jesus is looking over them.
But Muslims,
Right?
most Muslims would not want to pray here.
But because it's a church that turned into a, oh yeah, it's a tourist attraction, and they want to pray here. They just don't see it that way. But that image is still there of Jesus literally looking over them while they prostrate towards Mecca. And then you have Allah and Muhammad on the same level, just hanging out with the boys. If you go into Mecca, as you're walking around the house, if you look at the wall, it'll say Ali, Omar, Muhammad. So Omar, Abu Bakr, Ali, Muhammad. And it will go, it's on the walls, on the pillars. They don't have Abraham's name, which is Abraham is the one who helped build that city. They don't have any of that names. It's just Muhammad and the boys.
So your goal is to follow mine too, Abraham, the Abrahamic religion.
Right? We're an Abrahamic religion. But brother, but you said it perfectly. Isn't this shirk? Yes.
But I just think that everybody would agree. Like Muslims would agree that this is shirk. Maybe not everybody, but almost all Muslims would not like this because this isn't in any masjid I've ever been in. There's nothing on the
This
wall.
is go in Turkey, go in Syria, go in Palestine, go Al-Aqsa. To me, it's the second holiest site. To them, it's the third holiest site. To Sunnis and Shias, Sunnis actually, it's the third holiest site. And if you go into Al-Aqsa, they have it. They even have Abu Huraira's name up there, chilling with the boys.
Wait, what's like your stance on like saying the shahada meaning? I mean, there's so much emphasis like say the shahada, and then you're good. Like if you die tomorrow without saying the shahada, like even if you say La ilaha illa Allah,
It's not enough for them.
what do you think about the whole? I don't know. Your stance on the shahada.
As I said, the way that you go into submission is by saying, I submit to God, right? I submit to the Lord. I submit to the Lord of the worlds. So the whole concept of shahada, I can pull up a verse, the verse is called the hypocrites. It starts that the hypocrites come to you and say, we witness that you're the messenger of God. And God says, and God is aware that you're his messenger, and God witnesses that the hypocrites are liars. So you don't have to go around and saying, when you're saying, I bear witness that God, that there is no deity except God, you're witnessing to God. Am I going to also witness to God that, hey, Muhammad's a messenger? God already knows. What are you witnessing to God that Muhammad's a messenger? God already knows he's a messenger. Or are you witnessing to the people? Well, then your religion is not for God, it's for the people. Who are you witnessing to?
But you could say, well, you're basically agreeing that you that you confirm the Quran. Because the Quran was revealed to Muhammad, so if you say that you believe in Muhammad, then you believe in the Quran. But if you don't say that, then what book do you follow?
So wait, God didn't know that you had a testimony of faith? When you read the Quran, he didn't know your inside and what you're about?
No, I think he did. That's why I've been a little bit like, why do I have to say that?
So what are you testifying to? I would say, God, I testify you already are aware what's inside me. And I believe that this book is from you.
But is it,
so that insinuates automatically that I believe Muhammad's a messenger. Why do I have to keep repeating it? like you're teaching God about your religion? That's what the Quran says. Are you teaching God about your religion? And God knows what's in the skies and the heaven.
So like what's the difference between if someone believes Jesus, like in your eyes, if someone, a Christian, an Arab Christian, let's say, Arab Christian and you both say La ilaha illa Allah.
Done. We're on the same book.
So you seem
but they might say Isa ibn Allah, Jesus is the son of God. Well, at that point he made himself very aware to me. And another guy will say Muhammad Rasulullah, and that man made himself very apparent to me, because God told me to look for the signs. If someone's like laughing on my face but I could see his anger in his heart, God is saying you could see the hate on their face, but what's inside their heart is worse. So if I go to somebody, I say, I testify that there's only one God. And the guy goes, and Jesus is the son of God. Okay, I know who you are. And the other guy goes, and I witness Muhammad is the messenger of God. I know who you are. I know where your importance is. I know where your loyalty is. It's not, God wasn't sufficient for you. Shut up the nonsense. Bro, they're calling me out.
I mean, this whole time I've been thinking like La ilaha illa Allah.
Beautiful.
Boom.
Beautiful.
So then how do you distinguish, you just do it? There's no like, in your eyes, there's no, I mean, the Quran doesn't say this.
Nope. The only time you can say that the messenger is when people come and say that, hey, Muhammad was not a messenger. This is the last verse in chapter 13. The disbelievers will say you're not a messenger. You could say that sufficient is God as a witness and those who have knowledge of the book. Because I have knowledge of the book, I can say, yeah, he was a messenger. But I don't have to go around like, hey guys, Muhammad's a messenger. I testify as a messenger. I testify as a messenger. No, I'm going to go around and be like, hey, this book is telling you one God. Be brothers. Be one community. Pray. Like, bro, do you want me to summarize the Quran in one verse?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to summarize the Quran in one verse. Your duty as a human being. I am going to summarize it, and by the way, this is very, very subjective. Tariq.
This summary is very subjective.
Yeah, because God says the disbelievers will say, "Why didn't the Quran come to him with one sentence?" God says that we brought down the Quran to you, and we brought down the Quran in the way that He did is just so that He could make his to make Muhammad's heart firm, and he ratalnahu tartila. So he recited it in a certain way. But let's see this verse. Bayina. Racers, destinies, thick.
It was almost like Al-Fatiha is the real Shahada.
That works as well, actually. But I would like to go to 98.5.
You mean to pull it up?
Yeah, 98.5. If you don't have them.
Yeah, I got it
I know, you got to go.
This has been. Nine.
Well, this is a good note to wrap it up again. This is a very
98.5
nice word.
Quran.
98.5.
Should I go? Oh, let's see.
Any of them.
All right, here we go. 98.5.
Right.
And they were not commanded except to worship God, sincerely devoting to Him the true religion, establishing the litany and giving the charity. And that is the valuable religion.
Ta-da.
There it is.
So for me, the word ibadah, li'abudu, is to serve, because it comes from the word abid, which means servant. So they were not commanded except to serve or worship God, sincerely devoting to Him the true religion, which is the religion of Abraham, establishing the prayer or establishing the litany, giving the charity, giving the alms, and that is the din al-qayyimah. That is the valuable religion. That is the upstanding religion. That's it, boys. Pray, give from your money, and be devout to God.
So, okay, so if you were on the street giving dawah and someone who is an atheist comes up and, you talk to them and they're like, okay, I want to become Muslim.
Submit to the will of God. What's the will of God? Be a net positive in the world, believe in the day of judgment, and believe that you're going to come back and stand for everything that you did.
How do I know when I'm saved?
How do you? Well, you'll start attaining the faith over time, but you have to submit. You don't say I believe, you say I submitted. And then when the faith enters your heart, then you will recognize it. Then you will see this, you will see the positivity. So within a year's time, brother, you're 22. If you stay on this path looking for the truth and staying connected to God, and you practice the religion, you practice the law. So no adultery, that's like being sincere to God at that point. No adultery, no eating pork, making the litany, praying, thinking of God, thinking of the creation of the world. Within 5 or 10 years, you're unstoppable, because your mentality is like, bro, I can go without food right now. I can work a little harder now. Why? Because my God will be happy with me. My God will be pleased with me. Just like how I want my dad to be happy with me as a child. Now, no, my Lord is going to be happy with me. He's going to give me more work. He's going to give me money. Why? Because He saw that I gave the money to I gave 20% of it away. So now when I get more, I want to give more. Why? Because the more I give, the more I'm building for the hereafter. But my hereafter is not the stuff, by the way. I'll be very honest. My heaven is not the stuff that I'm going to get in heaven. It's the fact that I can start talking to God without no evil thoughts and without no doubts, and truly being able to work for God in His heaven nonstop. Build a boat, sail the oceans, bring what I want, feed the people, do whatever I want in heaven, but it's in a complete relationship with God. Hell, as God says, when you're in hell, you're forgotten. So bro, it breaks my heart just thinking about it. Like this is what I pray to God a lot. Like imagine calling out to God and you get literally no answer, bro. Like that's the end of it. Like, and one thing I constantly pray to God is, God, if I make a mistake, please forgive me and just don't leave me.
Amen.
Bro, it's just the thought of God leaving you, like where he no longer repents on you, is the scariest thing. Because everybody leaves you. Everyone's dying. But this entity will never leave. But if you're so terrible that he doesn't even want you in his presence, but he's just letting you eat and drink your food, but wants nothing, he doesn't need you, but he's not even letting you help him, just purifying you, bro. That it's the scariest thought, bro. Like scariest thought, bro. Like me praying, God doesn't want to, and sometimes I feel it, bro. Like I'm praying, but I did something that I'm not supposed to do in that day. It just feels like my prayer is not connected. I feel like God is not, that presence is not with me. That relationship is shaken because I did something that's self-oppressive. And then I sit and repent and cry and think and try to fix and reach out to people like I'm sorry. And when I fix the error, it's like as if the love rushes back and you're now aware in the world. It's God leaving is hell, bro.
But why would that ever happen?
You murdered, you turned on somebody, you stole money, you did something. Why is God gonna, like, someone worked very hard in this world and he worked so hard to achieve that relationship with God? Why do you just get it? Why do you get to heaven when the other guy worked so hard for it? That's not fair. So God is very fair. So if he's gonna punish you by not being so close to you in your world, it's because of your own action. But God is forgiving, God is repentful. So if you recognize and you correct yourself, God comes back. Always, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like the loser Iblis, if he goes, finds a human and prostrates to him, I think God would allow it. But he'll never do it because God said he'll never do it. But the door of repentance is always open with my Lord. Always.
Muhammad, this has been a great conversation.
20 more push-ups, bro.
All right, let's go.
And then
we'll wrap it up and then I'll do my push-ups.
All right. It's laziness.
Muhammad,
You gotta
thank
go.
you. I mean, honestly, that's it. Thank you.
God bless you. That's all thanks to my Lord. What I know, what was truth from him. Whatever falsehood, may God forgive me, and may God forgive anyone who is worthy of forgiveness. And thank you, brother. You gotta go. You gotta go. Peace. Keep in touch, though, eh?
Yeah.
All right.
God bless you, brother. This
God
won't be the
bless.
last time we talk. Inshallah.
Inshallah. God willing.
See you, Muhammad.
Take care. Peace.
Bye.
Peace, everybody. Thank you for your time.
And thank you, everyone from Muhammad's channel, for tuning in.
All right. Peace out.
See you, Muhammad. Hey, Abo. Shout out Abo. I don't know what he's saying here. Oh, this is a good super chat. Smiley. Muhammad, if you agree Sunnism aligns with ISIS and the West mainly dealt with Sunnism, can you say the media was right about Islam in light of that? That's a good question. Muhammad quote.